I got it. I got it. We know that works. Oh my God, does it work? Yes, it works. It works and it's a workings. Welcome, people. There's nobody here but me, myself, and I. So that's clear to see. What's this little black screen on here? Oh, I hope that didn't stop the live stream. Probably did though, didn't it? That's okay. Trying to find the link so I could share it for this live stream on Zoom. And I don't even know if it's live streaming right now. Let me hop on YouTube. Let's see if it's working. Probably is. Probably isn't. Does it matter? No, not really. Oh, it says something. And it even says like 5 people watch. Oh, my lanta. Kiwi, where you at? Speaking of Kiwi. Anyhow, let's start with this. Welcome, people, to Minus Madness. This is James. Kiwi's inside, so she ain't out here to yammer along with me. Welcome to, let's see, the train of digression that's always a rolling. And it just happens to be let's talk some fenn. Interesting subjects going around lately in this crazy place I call the Chase Marketplace. And it's quite a term I like, quite frankly. Here coming over. Oh, that's okay. People, I'd like to say hi. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. If I forget to say hi, and if I don't forget to say hi anyway. I'm gonna get that out of the way. I'm trying to throw some links up in here. Just does it matter? No, not really. But let's throw some links up anyway. Trying to figure out where that link is over to that yonder Zoom thingy, Bobby, so I can post it up here in the thingy because I'd like to get some people's opinions on something. Quite frankly, from today's, as I would call, shenanigans. Where's the pistol? Captain, where's the pistol? Somebody said shenanigans. Oh, I'm still. I gotta. Practice my meditation. It's interesting learning about self-enlightenment and the journey to know oneself. To thy own self be true, etc. Sound and vibration. I noticed that the word Om, which is a sound that is practiced by some peoples up in some kind of mountains and whatnot. I also noticed that another word, Amen, kind of almost sound the same-ish, which is, said by a lot of other people. Amen, Om. Om. Yes, no, does it sound the same? I don't know. Still trying to figure out the link stuff. I can't even see chat or Zoom or anything. Don't mind me. Just the conductor on a crazy train through the Chase Marketplace. Tonight's menu, I have something of interest to discuss, which y'all might want to go ahead and hop on board if you haven't watched your kneecaps. Don't forget to grab a drink, some food. People get hungry, thirsty. Son of a Kiwi! You can tell Kiwi was around. She got a little bit of shell shock on my root beer can. Which means she stole some of my root beer. Oh, my Lanta, that bird's in trouble. Speaking of trouble, and Kiwi, quite honestly, is I don't know if people have noticed or not noticed, and I'm still trying to I'm so digress right now. There's like a few things going on. It's a busy weekend. Kiwi scared the shibba-da-dee-dees out of me. And that's a bit an interesting story. Which, God, I like to start talking about, but I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just yammering. Well, I guess as I yammer trying to find this Zoom link so I could put it up so I can get other people in the YouTube channel world involved ish, where they kind of get up on top of the train and ride with me. So that way, you got the peoples underneath that can listen to the train conductor. That's what the Zoom's for. Is people who are is willing to get up there on top of that train and just be like, "I'm on top of the world." Smack right into a wall because there's a bridge coming. I bet you guys weren't expecting that one, huh? Can you imagine that? They were standing up there holding each other. Oh, we're in front of the boat, and all of a sudden a seagull comes and right in front of their faces. Now that would be funny. So I'm in this Zoom thing right here at the meetings. Let's see, meetings. I got that one. Go to home. It says like switch over. I don't want to switch over because it won't be streaming right. Well, I guess I could do it this way. Let's see. No, there's a share. See, there's nobody else can get participated in it. And I'd have to hop on. Let's see. I'll make this big. Oh, there's chat. Oh, my Atlanta. We're up to like over a dozen people. Kiwi, you're missing out. It's a shame you got your wings clipped today. Disconnect audio. Wait, what was? Am I muted? Can nobody hear me? Oh, that's funny shit. I've been yapping to myself and nobody can hear me. That's ridiculous. I'm trying to figure out how to get this stupid thing connected to the my Zoom link over. Ain't working. That's what happens when you're technically incomprehensible. It says new meeting, schedule meeting, join a meeting. I wonder if I can join a meeting. But I don't have the meeting IDs. Son of a bitch. See, this is what happens when you don't know what you're doing. It's okay. Meetings. There's a meeting. Yeah, I got a bunch of lists of stuff on meetings, yada yada yada. Auto copy invite. Yeah, let's do that. Meetings. Nope, still not seeing where the link is to see this meeting. See, start, send invitation. People are like hanging out, like, dude, what's going on? I'm trying to find the damn link to this active Zoom so I can send it and post it in meeting settings. Uh-oh. Kiwis Road Zoom meeting. If I disappeared, I'm sorry, but you still got me, like, with some kind of verbal thing. Nope. I'm under settings. I'm checking, like, here's the background effects, security, polls and quizzes. I could do a poll and quiz right now. No, I don't want to do that. Correct close. That's too complicated. And Zoom. I got camera stuff up here on the top. Participants. Ooh, participants. Ooh. Mute, invite. Oh, here we go, people. Here we go. Talk about cooking with butter. Who doesn't like butter? Copy link. Here we go. Oh, let's copy it on there. All right, let's see if I can't do this right. Now I'm going to try to go out of here. I'm going to try to do this. And like I said, I apologize to people that are in chat, talking amongst yourselves in the train. Again, let's talk fenn the discussion that I'm about to hit as soon as I send this link over to let y'all know is two things to talk about on tonight's train. Is this audio stuff that's going around with Forrest, about poems and whatnot. There's a possible poem or two or not. Oh my Lanta, what happened? Somebody closed out the Zoom. That's what happened. I'm sideways. Am I going to stay forever sideways? Oh, I don't like that. Did that correct it? I think, okay. Let's yeah, it derailed all right. It went straight off the cliff. Hopefully it comes back. I'm catching it because what happened was is I tried to go out and onto YouTube and post the link and it like set me out of the camera. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. Woo! Damn, talk about a mixed up world in this environment. So don't adjust your TV screens or your phones, people. It's just this is just how things are working. All right, there's YouTube. All right, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Oh, it shows like 18 people. Come on, let me. Oh man. Oh, see, it did again. I bet you if I hit play, it probably would cut that off. Let's see. Let's find out. See if it even works. Oh, oh, I know what I can do. Aha! I'm as smart as I think I am. It don't matter. Oh, that's what I was trying to say is what we're going to talk about tonight. Oh, one of them was invite link. I'm going to send it to myself, be a messenger, and hop it on over. See, I figured it out. It just took me a second. See, messenger. Right there. Done. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Now, I gotta reset this universe I'm in. All right, I gotta take my hat off, make sure it's right. I want to check my messenger. The second thing I want to talk about on tonight's train ride. Somebody come out with a video today. Mm, mm, mm. No, there's in this Chase marketplace. I mean, there's some shady stuff that going on. Some shady stuff that going on, and there's some stuff where there's miscommunications going on between peoples and parties. I see it. Um, there is there's hurt, there's regret, there's joys, there's sadnesses, etc. I mean to the point. Some of the stuff I see is like you're getting into like the you all see that I just pinned a link. Feel free to come aboard on top of this crazy train and talk some fun with me about some audio clips and possibly a second poem that may or may not be in an olive jar that people are trying to push the owner of the olive jar to open it up and see what's in it and whether or not it correlates with the same rumbling ramblings 1.0 to 2.0 to thrill the chase. Oh, there's that. Or two, we could talk about a video where a person, in a sense, is questioning another person's valor, their honor, their military service. Now, I'm sorry. This is the thrill of the chase. This was the thrill of the chase. If you cracked open the book, The Thrill of the Chase, looking for a chest of gold, that happened. It was found. It was sold. End of story. But to sit there and start digging into a dead man's military records and using that as some type of you could take however you'll say verbal insinuation that you're gonna somehow discredit a veteran who is deceased and isn't alive to defend themselves just so you can may or may not get a hold of certain people or may or may not get yourself on some kind of documentary TV series or your own personal stuff that you put out there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That shit is not cool. I mean, it's bad enough you got people out there suing each other over their guiltiness of what they're doing as far as what could be considered criminal actions. And when I say that, I mean there's people out there that are doxing people's addresses, putting out people's personal information so that other people can get a hold of them. If they want that information out there, they put it out there their damn selves. Obviously, right? Now, some things through communications, this, that, mistakes are made, grievances are resolved, yada, yada, yada. That's cool. That's fine. That's dandy. Forgiveness and asking for forgiveness is a good thing. It's part of the healing process. This man's dead. He served his country. He had to, one of his regrettable things was sit there and be a part of a massacre of what possibly could have been civilians. He had to suffer that. Trauma is a strong, strong tie between humans. To feel that kind of trauma and understand it, you would have to try to put yourself in Forrest Fenn's place. That's, I think, part of one of the reasons why my war for me is very prominent and definite inside the thrill of the chase. The understanding between life and death. Now, the past, or the present. Now, like I said, the pin there's the Zoom. Feel free to come on in and share your opinion about this. It'd be interesting to see what other people think on whether or not there's probably another poem inside of the olive jar that was in the chest that was sold, and parts of it was made or not opened. The olive jar so far hasn't been opened that I know of. It's possible that if there was a second poem, that it could be inside the olive jar. But I hear some discounts, yeah. But oh my lantern, when I was hearing that this guy is going to sit there and try to call out and create a claim for stolen valor, which is a tie to a criminal offense. Now you're putting a criminal offense on a dead person. I don't know. As a veteran, I'm just really kind of shocked at it, that. And talk about let's throw some freaking whip it on that thing, you know what I mean? Because hey, who doesn't like a little bit of fluff with this story? I've had people serve in my family. Is one of the reasons why I decided to serve. I was lucky enough to serve. Unfortunately, there's people out there that wanted to serve wholeheartedly that couldn't. Rhymes and reasons. There's a reason for everything. It's understandable. But man, this guy is dead. Do I remember? No, I don't know. I can't see or fathom the importance of a dead man's medical or military record of service and his awards have anything to do with a chest that was found and that was sold. End of the thrill of the chase, the book. Doesn't mean that the end of the thrill of the chase in life doesn't continue. But I don't know. Did I just make some kind of point? What does going through a dead man's military service record and claiming that it's stolen valor just to get your name somewhere? I'm sorry. What does that have to do with the thrill of the chase? Nothing. What does it have to do with a chest? Nothing. What does it have to do with it being found? Nothing. What does it have to do with it being sold in bits and pieces? Oh, nothing. Now, this guy that's going to try to get his connection with some kind of military officer to sit there and backdoor his way into getting Forrest Fenn's service records by making a claim that Forrest Fenn used his award of the Purple Heart or any of his service medals for monetary property or other benefit. I don't see that anywhere. Now, it does say people can embellish their stuff. It's not cool to sit there and and lie about your service and what you've done, because it is documented. But it's not a cool thing either. Be honest, have integrity. I mean, that was one of the Air Force core values, one of the three. So, as you could tell, my temperature's out the window. My thoughts are like scrambled all over the place. But it's just added interesting and curiosity. I mean, I haven't even had a chance to read chat and see what's going on. I'd like to go through and read it, but I'd rather people come on and shoot the shit with me, because I don't know. I'm more of like, hey, if you want to call and talk to me, let's do it on video chat, because it's just the experience is more enveloping. And this has nothing to do with Talking Tuesdays, which is its own thing. But man, I tell you what, as soon as I seen that video, and I fast forward, so check it. I clicked on the video. I was watching it. I like movies. I love movies. I'm watching it, and I'm like, yeah. Maybe I need to rewatch this movie. So I fast forward it and watch, just fast forward. And then I get to the end where I see a person yammering. So I stop it, and I'm listening, and you can hear this person sitting there saying, this is for you. We should contact each other somehow, because I'm going to file a claim of stolen valor against your grandfather or your father with the Veteran Affairs Office or whoever else they need to go through to file something like that. Yeah, no, that's just, I mean, shady. Shady would be a good word. Shady would be a good word. But I like shade. Who doesn't like the shade? That's why I wear the hat. Go out there and the sun's beating down on you. You used to wear a black hat. I ended up doing some metal detecting around the riverbank. And somebody driving by the freeway, pulled over, come down. Next thing you know, a couple four wheels come rolling up to me. And they're like, "Oh, okay, what you doing?" I'm like, "Just out here metal detecting along the riverbank." I'm like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Yeah, we thought you were one of our cows that got loose." I'm like, "Oh, well, a little bulky with a black hat, so a black jacket. Yeah, I could look like a cow. And it turned out that person owned the property right next to the riverbank. And it had a house that was built in the 1840s or 1890s, and then moved later on, like 100 years or so after that, moved upstream a little bit. So I got permission to metal detect around there and whatnot. Interesting property. My metal detector decided to break there, or anytime I kind of went there, just would always there was too much ground interference or too much trash. And most likely, probably just too much trash. But that's how you get out there and about, do things, meet people, different ways. I mean, it was like when I was watching this, so I had to sit there, and after hearing this guy say what he's about to do, I had to sit there and rewind it back to the beginning and watch it through the whole thing. I'm like, okay, screenshot, okay, screenshot. All right, let's look this up. Let's find out. So in the Thrill of the Chase page, like it's in My War for Me, Forrest Fenn mentions that he received, "My personal contribution to the Vietnam War was of dubious distinction." This is 99. "I had been shot down once in the south of that country, and once again in Laos. My reward for all of that was about $1,000 a month in pay, a Silver Star, 3 Distinguished Flying Crosses, a Bronze Star, 16 Air Medals, and a Purple Heart. And when I boarded the plane that brought me home to South Vietnamese, pilots ran up and handed me a small box saying, 'We want you to have this.' It was the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry, their country's highest medal. Although it was not officially presented, I still value it and the appreciation that came with it. Never mind how important those things were to me at the time. They later added up to," and then So I have a wind chime inside here, inside the brain cave, and anytime that wind chime goes off, my it I've it's an instinctive. I learned instinctive to say and then, and there's a reason behind it. It's part of like meditation and whatnot. The wife happened to come in, get herself a drink. She had the wind chime, and she didn't say and then, and she knows you're supposed to say and then, so I had to say and then for her. But the importance would be on the next page, 100. Instead of all those medals, I wish I could have been given. No, is it this one? Die somewhere that year could be rebaited and tacked on to let me at least live a little bit longer. But I'm still alive. Looking back, I feel as if I was being slowly educated by a larger hand. No, that ain't the paragraph I'm looking for. Like the club, because I think it's yeah. Nonetheless, still a marker. I mean, the man's describing his military history. Some medals that he has received, may not have received. I mean, if he was embellishing uh, his service by what he wrote down, it's not a crime. And I mean, it may make him look bad if that's the case. But I mean, if he did receive those things, then hey, that's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. Welcome, 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 Mr. Napple. Can
What's
I
up,
have a
dude?
drink? Can I have a drink of what you're selling?
I'm drinking Miller Lite tonight. I don't know that you want that.
Nope. I quit drinking when I woke. Well, no, yeah, no. I kind of quit drinking when I woke up naked in the bathroom floor from drinking a large bottle of wine.
Ooh, yeah.
But there was that one and the time that I woke up on the sidewalk with the fire department trying to light me on fire.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So we were at the local bar, me and my wife and some friends, and like every couples, they have their tit for tat, and usually it's the wife that stays at the bar, and I'll leave, come back and get her. Well, this time she decided to leave, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm staying here. Started drinking some more, blah blah, and it's like, okay, well, it's time to go. So I started walking, home, and I get, across the street, and like, yeah, I think it's just pretty much across the street, and this is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock. So, the sun is still up, barely going down. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and just relax for a minute. And just, yeah. Next thing I know, I'm getting nudged. And I look up, there's a fire truck right here. And like a couple fire department people, they're like, we're sitting here trying to burn weeds on the sidewalk and you're in our way. So, of course, I'm all intoxicated. And they're like, you need help or whatever? I'm like, nope, I'm fine. I'll figure out what to do. And then by that time, they had already called over the. I almost want to say the paramedics was already right there because it was right in front of the fire department house. So they called over the police too. So the police were there, and it was like, uh-oh. So they're like, oh well, don't worry. We're gonna take you in. And I'm like, the hell you are. I ain't done nothing wrong. And they're like, no, you ain't done nothing wrong. We're just gonna take you into a holding cell so you can sober up. I'm like, all right. As long as I ain't gotta pay for this. I seen how they do it. They throw you in the cop car. Next thing you know, you're getting paid or getting shipped a bill for a ride down the street, getting booked into slavery. So it was interesting. And the worst part about it was my wife said, if you ever get arrested or put in jail, I'm not gonna come get you.
Oh.
So the next morning, of course, I'm like, hey, I'm in the slavery. Can you come get me? She's like, nope.
She stuck to it.
Yeah. So I had
That's
no.
funny.
I think I might have called somebody else and gotten a ride, or started walking home. Those are the only two choices I got by that point, you know. So yeah, it was interesting. So
I broke my foot on a jet skiing accident. My buddy and he bought these we were living in Minneapolis at the time. And so we went to the St. Croix River, and it was like May 3rd. And so it was like finally 50 degrees, in Minnesota. And we jumped on the jet skis. We were doing some stupid shit. And I don't know what happened, but I was going forward. He was doing these back and forth things, and I basically T-boned him. And I went flying off. His jet ski went into my jet ski and broke my right foot. And I went flying off. We had to kind of half swim our ways out of the St. Croix River, holding onto these jet skis because they were brand new.
and you're floating down too. Don't forget the current's taking you, so you're doing four different things at once. Like, oh my god, man!
It was chaos. And then the ambulance can't get to us. And so they have a helicopter come out. A couple of guys drop in, bring me on a gurney to the helicopter because I got the broken foot. And then, they don't bring me to the helicopter. They bring me to the ambulance, which is parked now like half a mile away. And at that point in time, as they're carrying, I'm on my phone calling my girlfriend at the time saying, "Hey, can you pick me up? I don't want to go in the ambulance. It's going to cost me $1,500 to get there."
Exactly. It's like, come on, man. I know gas prices went up, but damn, man,
I
you're
was
right
like,
of me. Shit.
I want none of this.
I thought taxes go to that kind of stuff. Apparently not.
Right? No, they don't. All of a sudden, $1,500 to get an Uber ride 20 minutes to the hospital. Like, I can have my girlfriend grab me, bro. I'll just chill here. It's fine.
And hey, while you're at it, stop by McDonald's. I'm a little hungry.
For $1,500, you should get me some McDonald's on the way. I mean, my God.
Yeah, at the very least.
That's funny.
We have a pair of jet skis, and close. It was so close. Me and my wife we were rolling, down, blah, 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 blah. And
yeah.
I stopped, and when you're riding jet skis or boats or any watercraft, just like driving and stuff, I mean, you should always be looking around and paying attention to your surroundings. You can't just be out there. You know what I mean? And there's people out there that do it, which I feel kind of bad. But we're rolling, and I look, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I ended up stopping. And just as I looked, my right leg came up, and the wife's jet ski came right side by side. I was like, oh my God, I could have lost my leg right there. And then another time, again with the wife, I'm pretty sure it was with the wife. We were doing something, and then somehow we were coming at each other. I stopped, and somehow she was like still going and came up right beside me again. And it's like, oh my God. I'm gonna definitely lose a body part. So I just start riding with either, if we're going fast, I'll just throw my legs up on the seat, and ride out like that, which is really, really dumb. Yeah. It's really dumb. And I'll say that it is really dumb to do that. Why? Because you hit a wake or a log.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're done. It's like standing on your bike, and it's like, oh, I'm doing a trick. I hope I don't hit a fucking pebble.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. So what's the latest in Chaseland, man? There's so many fucking things flying around. I know I don't want to get into drama stuff. I hear what, some of the crew says, that you guys talk with, and I always listen. And so, I don't want to get into that, but I'll gladly get into it, because I think there's some things misconstrued. There's some things.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure I went out on a limb to tell everything. And I'm pretty sure that what's really going on here is the lack of something else happening in the chase, and we're all fucking bored.
Well, in a sense, and that's kind of why I came up with Talking Tuesdays.
Sure.
Forrest, I mean, you got to look at it as beyond the thrill of the chase. Is how I've always said it. People will hear me say beyond the thrill of the chase marketplace. I mean, there's a few things, keep common treasure on. There's a few things that I always say because they're keywords and they're important. What you're talking about is the chase marketplace. There's all those different avenues, I mean, the two that I've been kind of listening and focusing on is whether or not there's that whole poem or second poem or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is a video that somebody come out questioning dead military service members honor.
Okay, so
which that one is my number one I mean, like, if you want to get this train rolling down that track and see like how fast that motherfucker can go, like, seriously,
let's tackle that one.
We'll throw some poles in that and we'll just let the stoking go, because I tell you what, I mean,
okay. So
what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so hold on.
Welcome, Indy. Indy happened to hop on in.
How you doing, Indy? I'm going to do a couple of things at once. So I'm going to take off the video here just for a second, just so I can like move my phone differently. Okay. Military record. I did want to say one thing, and I don't want you to take this personally, because it's going to sound like I'm agreeing with the person who made the video, and I'm not. Okay.
Right.
Forrest Fenn made it a point to tell us 328 missions over and over and over and over and over. Okay. It was
I don't know how many times he said that. I mean, I only read it once in the book.
Well, okay, that's okay.
So far,
in interviews and stuff.
So far, and like this kind of, it's like
in the book.
In the book, try to stick to the chase.
In the book, this is why I feel it's the chase. But allow me to expound.
Yep.
In the book, it's only mentioned once. Yes, absolutely. 328 flights. In interviews, it's mentioned multiple times. And it's usually associated with, why did you do this, Forrest? You would get one of two responses. You would either get, well, my daughters don't even know who Clark Gable is. Hey, Indy, can you mute? There's so much feedback. Just when you're not talking. It's just, there's feedback. Forrest would say 328 missions in Vietnam, shot down. Or he would say, my daughters don't even know who Clark Gable is. Now, the only reason I even looked into this was because of DB Cooper stuff. So if you don't like DB Cooper, fine, throw it out. But it brought me to facts, verifiable facts. And the facts were, in 1969 and 1970, Forrest is interviewed in 3 separate newspapers from Lubbock, which he states each time unequivocally, I was shot down on flight 304, quote unquote, my final flight number was 305. Every time. 3 interviews back to back to back to back.
Because I guess it's bad to go out of service with your last flight being a down flight, so you had to go out for that extra flight, so you came back.
Totally. What does he call it? The champagne flight, right?
I guess something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I just worked on the jet engines for the F-15 and 16s for a few years, and
that's amazing.
I wasn't an officer though. The pay ratio, when I realized it, is just ridiculous. I mean, 4 years you're a captain, you're making what a 20-year enlisted makes. I'm like, what the? Yeah, I should have just gone to school and become a captain.
Right. All you had to do is get some fake degree, right?
Yeah, right. Do some doctoring.
But for me, so this is where I go, okay, I don't agree with saying, oh, all his military records are fake. I don't even know what the accusation is. But I do think there may be an avenue here where Forrest did invite us to double check his military record, not because he was lying about everything that happened or all his heroic efforts, but maybe, just maybe, this treasure hunter decided to play around with numbers that were important to him. For some reason, in 1969 and 1970, Forrest mentions 305 being his final flight. And after 1972, that number changes. Now, of course, the reason that brought me there was DB Cooper, and DB Cooper hijacked flight 305.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'll see. That's interesting. See, I mean, just that the different ties people can make between different stories. I mean, it's amazing. It can lead you all kinds of different holes, man. That's what I
Right.
love
No,
about Chase Marketplace.
I'm writing a great fiction book at this point, right? Like, yeah, like it's crazy what a weird coincidence that is, and more than likely, it's probably nothing. But the overall point I wanted to address was
You never know.
researching his military record did give us this different number. Why did he focus on 328? Maybe that was a hint.
So I'm just gonna sit there and say what you're talking about is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
What this other person's talking about is totally different.
Okay.
You're talking
Okay.
about
Fair enough.
researching somebody's medical or military record to see where they've been, what flights they've been on, or what not. What
Right.
this other person's doing is sitting there saying that this guy has created some type of criminal act by making benefiting or getting property or money off of his awarded medals.
Okay. So yeah,
He's making a
that's different.
claim
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
stolen valor
Stolen
against
valor.
Forrest Fenn,
100%.
who
Yeah. That's
happens to
bullshit.
be dead, not alive to defend himself.
Right. No.
And the only way to do that,
Completely agree.
I'm like, I'm sorry, the man has passed away. I don't understand what anything about his military record, past, present, or future, has to do with the thrill of the chase, the chest being out there, it
Well,
being found, it being sold. End of story. What does, in that sense, what does, nobody would
well,
have to go into Forest Fenn anymore for a malicious intent. And
but
what this
part of
guy
me,
is doing is a malicious thing.
sure, it is. From the point of view that you're giving me, and the point of view I've seen by myself, yes, 100% malicious intent. However, I still think that Forrest maybe did incorporate this part into maybe trying to figure him out. I don't think he intended
Oh,
for someone to do what you're saying, this person's doing. Of course not. But I think maybe he had some fun with it. Maybe 328 is actually the hint. 305 has nothing to do with it. DB Cooper has nothing to do with it. But for instance, he hints at 328. There is a solve inside of Yellowstone that gives you a 328 connection. It's called Uncle Tom's Cabin, which takes
ain't
you.
that a song? Or is that Uncle
It's
Tom's
not
Diner?
Uncle Tom's Trail. Sorry, Uncle Tom's Trail, which basically takes you to that grand waterfall, right? In between Artist Point and Inspiration Point, there are 328 steps that you can take, and it says it on a giant brown sign.
Oh, wow.
328 steps. Yeah. So like maybe 328 was a hint, right? I mean, who
Have you
knows?
gone there? Have you gone there?
I have, and I went down the 328 steps. It's basic. Here's the best part. Here's the best part. Here's the best part. You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
Here's the best
Too
part.
much exercise.
It used to be 528 steps. They got rid of 200 of it. So now it's at 328. So when Forrest says a 200-foot searcher, if you walk down all 328 steps, you are now 200 steps away from where it would have originally ended. You're now 200 feet away.
So why did they get rid of 200 steps? I mean, you can almost
I
say
think
that's
there
what,
was some
100 to 200 feet.
safety issue. There was some safety issue. People were getting too close to some water. There was something where they got
Okay.
rid of 200 of it. I don't know. I can't
Oh,
remember what
wow.
it was. Yeah, but it's
That's
interesting,
crazy.
and I've never pushed that. I'm sure plenty of people have that area as a solve. Heck, somebody who got arrested had that area as a solve. Remember, he rappelled down into the bottom of Yellowstone Canyon, and Forrest had to say, I've never been at the bottom of the Yellowstone Canyon, or I went there once, but I'll never go there again. Like, he made it very clear it wasn't there without saying it wasn't there.
Right. Right. That's
But
crazy.
it circles back to the whole, should we look into his military record to see if there's a hint? Now, what this person is doing is taking it to the extreme in a malicious way, right? But then that
Yep.
almost,
That's where I had to, when I mean,
yeah,
I
no, I
understand
get,
people are doing things. They're going to dig dirt. I mean, look at what they're doing in the presidential campaigns throughout centuries. It's not recent. It's nothing new.
right.
People going to
People
dig
dig
up
dirt.
dirt on people.
People
I
and
mean,
look, people even bring up that dug up dirt. For instance, the ping data for Jack Stoof. This gets brought up a lot. Oh, well, Ben just sits there and researches people's cell phone data and gets their ping data. No. If you actually,
how do you even get that information? Come on, if you're pinging people, I want to know because I got to keep tabs
Kiwi,
on my bird.
Kiwi, this is the point. I never had his ping data. If the people who would say that I'm doing these things actually watched my streams, which I don't delete, and they're all available, they would know. I had the person who had the ping data come onto my stream. He was the head moderator of Reddit. He offered me the ping data and saying, I know where Jack has been, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. Don't show me it. If you have something to share with the community, you can come onto my stream. You can come onto my stream and share it. And guess what? That's exactly what happened, Kiwi. I brought him onto my stream and I had him tell his story. I never looked at it. I never saw it. And I fucking said that.
Did they share the
ping? It's, he did ping data.
So did they share the ping data of him on the day he found
it? They never shared a visual of any documents. They only said that they had. Yes, correct.
Oh, my Lanta.
Yes,
well, hey,
correct.
Guess what? I got like thousands and thousands of gold bars and silver bars tucked away in the Franklin Mountains down in El Paso.
So we just need your ping data.
I'll tell you what. That's right.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing for this. I actually believe the ping data was real. That's the kicker. And that's why some people might think I actually did this. I didn't. The ping data, let's just given everything we've heard.
Well, it's important. It's important because it puts a person in a place at a time. And
let's examine
all those match when the dress was found.
Let's examine that. The ping data told me, who's on YouTube, saying it to people, that Jack Stoof was in West Yellowstone on June 5th. Everything is copacetic. Everything is fine.
Who said that he was in there?
Okay. The person who gave me the ping data, the person who went onto my stream, he was the head moderator of the Reddit board.
Right. So the head moderator of Reddit is in touch with Jack.
The head moderator of Reddit was in possession, allegedly, according to him, of Jack's ping data that allegedly came from a Reddit admin given, oops, it fell on my lap, to this moderator.
Right?
That's what happened.
See where it pinged? No information?
He offered to show me the entire database, and I said no. If I look at that,
why not?
Because I said if I look at that, I'm culpable.
Of what?
I'm culpable of being a part of looking at his private information. I don't know where it came from. I don't have a clear story where it came from. I don't want anything to do with it. Now, if you want to share the information you learned with the community, if you want to share that information with the community, I'll gladly give you a platform because I'm not doing anything wrong. And that's what happened. But do you hear the difference between that and then what was said in the past? Oh, well, but Ben just looks up the ping of Jack Stoof.
This is the first time I heard anything about you, Jack Stoof, and ping data and the man from Reddit.
It's amazing when you can get another side of the story. That's all I'm saying.
And that is what's part of Talking Tuesdays too. Is there's always two sides to the story. Forrest Fenn had his. Now it's our turn as searchers to be able to tell ours, past, present, or future.
And so what's ahead of us? What is all this for? What has been the point of the last 3 years? Why have they kept the solution away from us? At the end of the day, you boil it all down. What are we missing? We're missing a real solution. We've been giving a location, 9 Mile Hole, and a bunch of people, and now I don't think I have to persuade you as much. A bunch of people think I believe 9 Mile Hole is the correct answer. I fucking don't. I never have. And if, again, you watch my streams, go back to 2021, I'm stating unequivocally, K-Pro, Cynthia, Shannon, all three of them have been told it's 9 Mile Hole behind the scenes, and they were told this all at once. It's going to be pushed on all of us, and there's probably a lie. That was 2021, before court.
It's crazy, huh?
There's a lot going on in this chase that I think none of us can truly.
It's that kind of stuff. It sounds like the meat locker cooler room type of stuff in the Chase Marketplace. I mean, we can go walking around the meat department. I mean, that's where this conversation is part of. I mean,
Right.
oh my God, this guy, person, individual. I mean, I can understand people trying to relate stories with the thrill of chase or beyond the thrill of chase or a documentary, no documentary, somebody selling a book with extra, let's put it this way, extra seasoning on this meal that we're all trying to still eat, you know? We were at a buffet of forced fennism in this Chasetopia. There's another word I use now. Chasetopia. We're all up here, we're eating buffets, you know, everybody's out there showing a little bit of this and telling a little bit of that. And oh, here's a video clip of here and somebody saying this. And it's like, all right, everybody's getting their fill. Then all of a sudden, somebody come in and just wipe everybody's table off. And we're all still hanging out for dessert. We're like, what the hell's going on? You know,
Right.
Why clear my table? Well, dessert was the pieces of the chest that was being auctioned off. That was dessert. So if you could have, I mean, you maybe no, it's the dessert. I'm not done yet because there's still more to a story. I mean, dinner is just dinner. I mean, dessert is dessert. I mean, I look at it as the icing on the cake is what we're doing right now, what we're talking about right now. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, it's in a heated boiler room meat marketplace, which I try not to go just because I'm trying to, you know, promote the better mental health, mental well-being of people,
Sure.
etc. You know, because we've all been in dark places. We all have a brain and we all have mental issues. You know, how we cope with them or learn to cope with them are valuable skills. You know, I learned quite a lot from my wife. I've learned quite a lot from a lot of movies and TV shows, and I've learned quite a lot. Oh my God!
What's your favorite? What's your favorite TV show?
Well, right now, I guess my favorite TV show is what I watch with my wife. Is Survivor, and I equate that to the Chase Marketplace.
Sure.
And it's totally what it is. It's a social game. People are in here.
What about scripted? That's a non-scripted reality show. Fair enough. But what's your favorite like drama of all time? Anybody who knows me knows what I'm going to set you up for, but I want to hear yours first.
I want to say you're going to say Soprano for you.
No,
I could be wrong. No,
you're close, but Sopranos is in my top 10. But I do think it's an overrated show, though.
I mean, one of them. So okay, as a series, so I'm like a fantasy medieval kind of guy. I mean, do those count? I mean, I like Westworld. That's one of my favorite ones.
Westworld. I would call Westworld sci-fi. I would call Game of Thrones fantasy.
All right, Game of Thrones. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Okay, but hold on. Look, let's do Game of Thrones first. Let's do Game of Thrones first.
Okay.
The first 6 seasons, amazing. Season 7 and 8, the worst thing that ever hit the history of television.
Okay.
That's my take. I hated the ending. Hated it. The final season, let me give you an example of what I hated about the final season. We get in the beginning of the final season what I call the great Dothraki suicide of 2019, where they just fucking roll in to the fucking Night's King army and they all fucking die. And then
for no reason. Well, it's not necessarily not for no reason. They did it for a reason. They believed in something so true that they were willing to lay down their life. Now, sure, I would have rode into battle,
then they all come back.
I'd be like, man, fuck you for sending me in here. Man, I'm cursing your family and everything. But, you know what I mean?
But again,
I mean, as a
they
soldier,
all
you
come
learn
back.
These values. Like,
they all come back. 2 episodes later, the entire army is back with her. And then,
right?
and then get this.
Those are the reserves.
Kiwi, get the reserves. Kiwi, get this. Then Daenerys Targaryen takes her dragon, the only fucking thing she has left to destroy the queen. And what does she do? She marches it right outside of the castle
with what? 78 different scorpion weapons pointed right at it. And what does the queen do? Well, I could end this whole war right now and just fucking say fire and kill the goddamn dragon and not worry about this stupid blonde bitch. But what does she do instead? She instead talks shit back and forth for fucking 15 minutes and kills her little slave. You killed the slave. Meanwhile, you could have fucking slayed the dragon. Why? Because we need 3 more episodes. I hated the final season.
Well, I could answer that real easy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I mean, it's the art of war. I mean, it's the. I mean,
there's no art.
I've never read the Art of War, but I like to make a lot of references to the Art of War because think about it. You have your nation, your civilization, then you got your enemy civilization, but all of a sudden there's this dead civilization that somehow seems to keep massing up with all the masses. It's like shit, you know. I need a little bit of help. I got, you know, I had 3 dragons. One of them's the blue dragon now, flying around creating havoc, melting that damn ice wall. Better do something, you know what I mean? So hey, how you people doing? I know y'all suck ass, but guess what? You want to fight side by side? I know you're gonna stab me in the back afterwards, but I'm willing to take that risk. Why? Because we need the numbers and we need it now. So let's join together and unfortunately go after the number one thing. You know, that's how I would answer that.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I still hated it. I mean, and I would say,
so think about it. So the Game of Thrones, there's the beginning, there's the middle, there's the end.
Sure.
The thrill of the chase.
Oh.
There's the beginning. The beginning is everybody's life as it is. Then comes the thrill of the chase, which was the present. That includes when they started the search all the way up to present day now. And unfortunately, I mean, there was a trauma that happened, a double trauma that happened with everybody in that chase community. The chest was found and Forrest passed away. Those are 2 strong connections that everybody as a searcher can make unequivocally. I mean, you can say it didn't bother you. That's fine. And Danny, it didn't bother you. And you can say it bothered you a lot. I'm sorry it bothered you a lot. But nonetheless, it's a trauma that happened, you know?
Right.
And so now's the future part. I mean, everything's built up, all this excitement, and all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, now that we've had our cake and the icing and everything, what's next? You know, what's really coming out? And we're all still sitting at that dinner table like, man, I don't want to go home yet. I don't want the party to stop. DJ, play that music. You know what I mean? So
right.
I look at it, like I said, that's why Talking Tuesdays was created in a sense to kind of meld all types of worlds together, because the common denominator between them all is a brain. Indy, you got any thoughts on movies? I don't know how we got on movies, but
wait, did you say the topic is movies?
Movies.
No, I mean, we switched from like it was, you know, poem. There could possibly be a second poem, and you know, whether it's in a jar or not in a jar, or whether it was there or not there. But it was more so.
It's in the freaking Medium article. I say this over and over, and I think I need to say it 50 more times because I'm tired of people not hearing what I say, forgetting what I say, and then just taking what I say and passing it off as their own. So I'm going to be the person that says it's in the Medium article. It's not in the jar. It's in the damn Medium article.
I disagree. If the second poem is "Can I eat?" If the second poem ends with "Can I even try to shut them up?"
No, that last part is not part of it. It's only the first 3 lines.
I don't trust it.
First 3 lines. Do you have the first 3 lines?
Cold or somewhere. Gigi and I talk about this all the time. It's another piece to the poem that Forrest wrote for Eric Sloan.
Something cold waters babble your name.
Cold waters babble of your life.
There you go.
Trust me, it's that one.
Yeah, I don't think it is. Not at all.
I do.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to know. I mean, any literature outside that Forrest had written. Now that's stepping outside the bounds of the Kiwis Road journey that we're going, because there's 2 directions. One of them's like sporadic talk about Forrest Fenn and, you know, how you could or could not get to 9 Mile Hole, or how you could or could not get across to where the chest was supposedly retrieved from or found from or solved from or whatever. But I mean, it's my process. But along that process also is the Talking Tuesdays, where there's everything else in between. But I mean, the poem stepping outside, I can step outside tonight. It'd be interesting to know, you know what I mean? Because even that other poem that Forrest Fenn had wrote to a friend is very powerful and meaningful, because it sums it up to, I mean, I'd hate to say love and time, but I'd have to look up the poem again. And did I screenshot it? But no, the next main topic though was about, I mean, there's different types of research that people do, and how they do them. Okay, that's grand. I mean, that happens. But to sit there and try to file a claim of stolen valor
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
dead veteran
No, that's fucked up.
is,
But-
I'm just calling that kind of shit out. And so that was
Dude, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Let me take another argument to it without bringing up DB Cooper shit. Okay. and I'm not trying to defend. I just want to do devil's advocate.
But what
Oh,
are
I
you guys
love
talking
playing devil's
about?
advocate. It's very good. So real quick, Indy.
Yeah.
Today there was a video that come out that a person was claiming that they wanted to reach out to Shiloh Old, and that he wants their permission, a family relative permission, to sit there so that he can get a hold of Forrest Fenn's military records, so that he can
What?
sit there and file a claim of stolen valor against this man's military service and against
That's
this man,
fucked up. That's fucked up.
which imposes criminal charges.
Yeah.
So
hey,
I
but
mean,
I'd like you to just sit here as I defame your grandfather, please and thank you.
please and thank you. What?
Right? It's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
And indeed, that's where the boiler room topic is. It's like, yeah, people like to dig information. That's one thing,
hold on.
but to sit
Let
and
me
connect it with
explain
things is one thing. But what
Let
this
me-
person's doing is
there is an avenue for why it's happening. I'm not trying to give him the excuse. But in the chase world that we all live in, created up until what, 2022, 2023, it has turned into this where
change.
something about this chase is not right. Something about this conclusion is not right. And something about the chase itself while it was going on felt like a challenge to understand something more about Forrest. To understand, did he embellish? Did he make things up? Did he want us to find the lies and the mistruths? For instance, let me give you an innocent example. The Ronald Reagan story, climbing into room 4 of the Dude. Bavetta, of all people, from Reddit and Discord, was able to do some research and found an article from the local newspaper that talks about the exact incident at the exact time that Forrest described, except it's not Ronald Reagan.
Really?
It's Governor Tim Babcock. It's not Reagan. He changes it. Why? There must be a reason. This is a giant treasure hunt we're all in. Listen, there's one. Jason Northface was the first person in the hunt to tell me something I was already thinking. Jason Northface, if you're out there, kudos to you. This isn't a memoir.
Nobody watches this channel.
It's fine. This isn't a memoir. This is a treasure hunting book.
Or like something burning?
Well, if it smells like toast and you ain't got toast on, you might want to make
Isn't
sure
it
you got
something burning?
911 ready.
And okay, Larry even said it was Tim Babcock.
You
It
lit the
was.
barbecue?
Okay, so what do you say is not a memoir?
I'm saying the thrill of the chase is not intended to actually be a memoir. It's called.
It's a freaking.
It's actually intended to be a treasure hunting book.
But okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you. I would totally agree with you, 100%. 100%. But I would add this: the treasure wasn't the chest that was found at the end. The treasure was the knowledge that you learned from Forrest Fenn's stories, his memoirs that he shared in the Thrill of the Chase. 1,000%.
Yeah, I get that, and that's like the street
All
mentality.
right.
If like the treasure was in your mind the whole time. I actually agree with Street's point of view. I do believe in the poem "Hint of Riches New and Old." I do believe the hint of riches old is memories. It is what's in the brain. It is what's in the heart. I fully agree with Street on that. But
Yeah.
Forrest went out of his way multiple times on audio to say, no, it's a real thing. There's a real box. It has real gold in it. It's in a real place.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, so he was definitely, and I totally listened when he's talking about advertisement in his book. I mean, that I equate this. I equate two things. And you'll understand why I equate it this way.
okay.
I equate the Thrill of the Chase is like the Bible to Forrest Fenn in the treasure chest. Almost like Jesus Christ in the Bible is associated with salvation, this and that and the other thing. That in that reference, Forrest Fenn was willing to sacrifice some materialistic property in order to get a metaphysical information of whatever out there. Just like JC, he believed in something so much that he went beyond the materialistic and was willing to sacrifice to his total life being and something to get his information out there. So they're both putting information out there, and it's in which way do you sell it? This guy sold his life. This guy sold some treasure, in a box. It is to get you enticed to come nibble up onto that buffet and see what you like, and you start eating. And the more you read, the more you either like or don't like, and you pick and choose, and so I mean that's kind of how I looked at it in a sense.
Sure.
But,
and even what Indy said of, it's a manifesto. And what you're saying, I mean, it just seems like the guy figured out whether he's important or he's not. It seems like the guy figured out, if I put $1 million of gold out there and I put a secret story that no one has read before inside that $1 million of gold, maybe someone out there will go get my story. It feels like the gold was a lure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can I ask you a question and you only get one answer?
Sure.
Who's the most powerful person on the planet?
Oh, wow. Who is the most powerful person on the planet? And I only get one answer.
Yep.
Ooh, shit. That's a tough question.
No, it's not.
Who? Okay, well,
Indy, you're up. Who do you think's the most powerful person in the world? Is she still here?
She's muted. She's probably talking to something. The most powerful person in the world. What's yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, if I told you, it'd give yours away.
That's not okay. Who cares? You don't know what mine is.
Okay. You want to know who the most powerful person in the world is?
Please.
Me. You know who the most powerful person do you know who the most powerful person in the world is in your world?
Me.
You. That's right.
I agree.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
I still believe that I am living in a matrix and you are all just fucking characters.
Hey, and I would agree with you. I mean, in a language of sound and energy, totally agree with you, because one atom bouncing around next to an atom, I mean, we're all still atoms in the energy field or universe. So yeah, it's a matrix of some type. I would say that.
I've always kind of assumed it
we're
was
transporting right now. I'm transported into your living room, and you're transported here into the brain cave.
Sure, but that's what we're experiencing now in 2023. What we
We're
have
magicians.
we have to consider the question: would we have the same thoughts if this was 1650? Would we even be able to fathom the idea that we even live in a matrix if it was the year 1650? And then let me double down on that brain fart. What about this? What if you were only ever supposed to live in this time frame where you could only ever ask yourself, what was it like to live then? I'm thinking I could be in a matrix, but what if I lived in 1650? You're not even allowed to question it because you live in 2023.
Well, I think the answer would be that to help understand that, I word it as the evolution of communication, that by which information is passed down from generation to generation over the evolution of humans.
Right. That's how we've
And-
gotten to where we are. Right.
Yeah. And it's no wonder why they say knowledge is power. You control the knowledge, you control the power. It's a true statement.
And
the
then
more you
Forrest says
know, the
imagination
more
is
you
more
can
important
give
than that. How is imagination more than the power you just described?
So the imagination is way more power than the knowledge that you gain. That's where wisdom kind of comes in, because if you can imagine a worse place, then hopefully you can imagine a better place or how to fix it. So even though you have the knowledge on how to do something, it's using the wisdom and figuring out, well, how do I use it best for myself or best for that around me, so that it goes in the positive direction versus the negative direction. I mean, just look at our country and how it's being run now versus, years before, or several years, or 10 years, or 20 years, 30 years prior. I mean, the evolution in which, things have been slipping through the hole, so to speak. You can see these things, but yeah, I know. I don't know. Don't mind me. Let me take another drink. It's all you.
I like it.
I mean,
What do you think? What do you think Shiloh's fun and epicness is going to be? Given everything,
I don't know him. I only talked to him for that short amount of time on during the World Series of Fenn, but I had already been drinking, and I hadn't drank like that for, I don't know, but several years.
I didn't even get to talk to him. I was trying to win a poker tournament and I lost.
Yeah, so was I, but I only got 10th, which is good enough for me. At least I was there. I had fun, and the stories was the best part of it. So
that was fun, dude. When you won the big giant frame, when you made it seem like you burnt a hole in the map, half the community almost fucking died.
Well, so to me and Kiwi, we were playing an April Fool's joke on each other. And so I was thinking, this would be a good one to play on Kiwi. So I was like, all right, I'm going to print this out. I'm going to burn a hole. I'm going to show a candle through it, because somebody was questioning whether or not it was real or not. So I'm like, well, share it's real. Well, I'll show you the candle behind it, But it wasn't April Fool's in this reality. So me and Kiwi kind of messed up on that one, but it was still funny to us. Oopsie. And on April Fool's, I was going to do it, pull out the same one, but I had already folded it up into a paper airplane. So. But I have to say, I totally appreciate what Indy tried to do as soon as she found out. I mean, she reached out to Shiloh, tried to get one map ordered and over to him, signed and everything. I mean, I can't give her enough kudos for that. I've had no problems with Indy. She's been awesome, as far as our acquaintances and friendship goes. So, because I know that there's, just like in anybody's universe, sometimes when other asteroids come in, which, we allow or don't allow into our universes, or we go and visit other universes, and some of that stuff gravitates back and forth. That's how I look at my life as a universe, people coming into different galaxies and whatnot. But
what do you think happens? What do you think happens after we die?
We would just go back to the same energy pool. That experience which yourself?
Do you feel yourself when you go back to that pool? Do you feel
that would be a good question, Do you
right?
lose your
That's what I'm
sense
worried
of self-being in the total singularity of all energy?
That's
Good
what
question.
that's what I would that honestly, like, that's my last question about death. I don't know where I go. I don't know what I do. It could be nothing. But if it's something, how will I feel it? Will I feel it like a human? Will I feel it with my appendages, with my arms, my legs? Will I have a sense of what I look like? Will I look like what I look like now in the afterlife? These are
You
questions
know,
I every day.
the only thing I can think of is just looking into the light bulb or looking into the sun is just a constant brightness all around you.
Yep, you can't even see
That's
it.
that's
Right, I
that's
see it. I like.
and the reason why I say this is, I've had to do a lot of research and a lot of learning and stuff, just like Indy does. She's awesome at it. Is Nikola Tesla said it best: if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, learn sound, energy, and vibration.
Oh my
Uh,
God, you said the quote right. No, no, no. Stop right there. Stop right there. You said the fucking quote right. There are so many times. There are so many times where I've heard that quote. If you want to understand the universe, you need to understand 369, which is a bullshit quote invented by the internet, never said by Nikola Tesla. What you said is the actual quote from Nikola Tesla.
well,
That's
if I didn't get it right,
rare.
my wife would have ripped my ass. So,
Well, no. I'm fucking proud of you. I'm proud of your wife, because nobody, and I mean nobody, ever quotes Nikola Tesla correctly on this one. They always end that quote with 369, and he never, ever, ever fucking said that. That's
you have no idea. I really appreciate that. You just made my head just go from like,
awesome. It's fucking awesome, dude. It never fucking happens, man. I'm
so, yeah, that's awesome. No, yeah, you got me speechless now, sort of. No, I was saying is, the reason why I would equate it to looking at a light bulb or the sun is, lightning. The power in which we power a house, fire itself. Looking at the light bulb, these are all different forms of energy that is seen or not seen in different wavelengths, visual lengths, X-ray lengths, however you want to describe it. But they're all types of wavelengths, sound wavelengths. However,
have you
but
ever
everything is vibrating. Everything
everything
is vibrating.
everything exactly, and this is where I want to
But
get into caveman shit here. Have you ever sat in front of a fire, right? A properly made fire, the logs made in like a teepee form, you got the whole thing going, right?
yeah,
Have you ever had that moment where you're staring at the fire and you can see the swirl happening? There's no wind, yet you can see how the fire is pushing up the smoke. You can just see it, like, oh no, that smoke should go to the right, yet it's getting pushed up like a toilet bowl upwards, right?
yeah.
That's how the first fucking scientists were ever invented in our human history. People saw this energy push something up, and these people became scientists because they were like, wait a second, heat pushes things. All of a sudden, we can work with this, right? Isn't it amazing how that happens?
That is crazy. How this is one of the things that I find fascinating as far as the archaeological and anthropology side of civilization or Earth is. In a lot of dictation, I would say the human civilization is based off of anywhere between 10 to 100,000 years. Now, if you look at the evolution of everything on this planet, everything is taken millions and millions and millions of years to evolve. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hundreds of
Or at
thousands
least
of
so
years.
they tell us. So they tell us, right?
Well, you could kind of see it even in the bone structures and stuff.
Oh,
But,
let's get to. Oh, you want to get to bone structure?
but
We can get into the transgender world. I'll gladly take that on. Bone structure. Can I say it? Can I just? Is that going to piss you off? Can I just like, now that it's on my head? Can I just cover this topic real quick in 1 minute?
no, go ahead.
Okay,
Bone
bone
piss
structure.
me off.
Bone structure. It's very fucking simple. There's something called a man, and there's something called a woman. And
Yeah.
1,000 years from now, I don't care what woke society says.
the bones discovered by archaeologists, the bones that were us in 2023 or 2050 or whenever we all die, those bones will be looked at by archaeologists. And those archaeologists will say that was a man and that was a fucking woman. End of story. Sorry, I'm done.
Well,
and
they'll even go so far as to break it down into a solution and get the DNA signature and find out if it's a Y or X chromosome.
sure,
And plant it in the DNA.
But the bones tell us everything, man.
They're obviously two different.
All.
They're meant
Yes.
for two different things.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
by
yes.
a
yes.
societal in evolution, humans are, designed by evolution for specific reasons.
If you feel like you're a woman right now, congratulations. Your hips were not made for childbirth. You can't have a period. Fuck off.
Well, I won't go there with that one.
Kiwi.
We have menopause. You got to admit, men have menopause.
That's because men named the word. Yeah, it's menopause. But I have news for everybody. Men don't have a uterus. Therefore, they can't have
last
a period.
I checked, yeah. But
it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
How do we get on that one?
I don't know.
Totally digressed that train. We gotta back that one back up.
If you go on my Twitter, that's like all I do is retweet this nonsense. I don't care what you want to do. I don't give a shit what you want to do as an adult. I truly don't. But when you want to tell me you want to give a kid some fucking surgery, you can kiss my fucking ass.
Yeah.
You deserve to be in jail.
I have problems with that. So I look at it like there's an understanding, there's rules and regulations, there's laws, in place for reasons, and there's exceptions to the rules, there's exceptions to the laws.
Sure.
But to make that exception the law denounces the whole reason of having exceptions. And it totally denounces the whole law, man.
Right. 100%. Exactly.
So, I mean,
we don't need
what
to bow
they're trying to do that I see in today's society, I see a lot of that, trying to make the exception the rule when it's I
see a lot of shit on Twitter where people of that community will say, and they're pushing for it, and they get tens of thousands of likes and retweets of, if you misgender me, you deserve to go to jail. So because you were a man for 30 years, and now at year 32, you've decided to be a woman, and I call you a man still, I go to jail? Oh, God, I will not allow society to go there. I will run for president before that fucking happens.
Well, I already tried telling the wife I'd run for president, but she's like, no, it ain't going to happen. You're stupid. Quit talking to me. So I come out here and I keep learning more stuff because I have a 5-point plan on how to be president. You know what I mean? It's simple.
Tell her you have a 5-point plan and she needs to listen to it.
It's on my YouTube channel. It's called the 5-point presidential plan. Seriously. I mean, think about it. I mean, you have to go singularity, then you have to go the whole, and then you have to go the benefit of both. And if you can't incorporate all three, you're missing something somewhere and you need to fix it. And I see a whole lot of 2 things missing, a whole lot of 1 thing going bad. So it's like, come on. If this guy can run for president inside of his basement without ever having to talk to nobody, including, shouted questions from people that you're supposed to be talking to anyway, shit, I can run for president, babe. She's like, no, fuck you. Get out. You're dumb. Quit talking to me. It's like, all right.
Kiwi, ask me who I last voted for president.
Who did you last vote for president?
Barack Obama.
There you go.
Okay, ask me when.
When?
2008.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions you want me to ask you?
Yes. Ask me what I did in 2012.
What did you do in 2012?
In 2012, I worked for the Mitt Romney campaign, and I still decided not to vote for Mitt Romney. Okay, but Obama defunded NASA, and I hated that.
So what did you just say? What did you just say? You what? You ran?
I voted for Obama in 2008, and then I worked for the Mitt Romney campaign in 2012.
Doing what?
Going door to door, taking surveys of potential voters in Nevada
Okay.
and
Okay.
California. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would be the guy who knocks on your door. Who are you going to vote for? Blah, blah, blah. This was in
Yeah,
where
okay.
this was at a time where it was like you wouldn't actually get shot in the face for doing that.
Nowadays, man, don't even look at the house. You might get shot. Don't,
Right?
don't even dream about that house. You'll get shot in your dream. You wake up dead.
Honestly. And then 16 happened and Hillary ran. And everybody who knows me, everybody who talks with me thinks I voted for Hillary. And every time this topic comes up, I will tell them, are you out of your goddamn mind? I don't vote for serial killers.
No, after Benghazi, you know. But I mean, there's other things along that political thing.
On the flip side,
that's the political.
Sure, but we can talk political because guess what? I hate everyone equally. Because guess what? Guess what? I hated Trump too. I thought Trump was the biggest fucking asshole in the universe. Guess what? My dad played football for Donald Trump. He was the starting quarterback. Really? He was the starting quarterback for the New Jersey Generals, owned by Donald Trump. Herschel Walker, you'll know that name. Herschel Walker was my dad's running back. Herschel Walker is my godfather. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My dad has told me since 1994 or 92 or 91. I was watching an old WrestleMania VHS tape where it was done in like Atlantic City and Trump was in the first row, but this was like 1989 or something like that. And my dad's watching it with me and he looks at me, he goes, you know who that is? And I go, yeah, that's Donald Trump. He goes, yeah, fuck Donald Trump. And I go, well, why fuck Donald Trump? And he goes, well, I worked for him. I was a quarterback for his football team. He's an asshole. He's the biggest asshole I've ever met in the history of my life. And my dad's not political. This was in the mid 90s. Like Trump wasn't a political icon back then. Who cares about Trump back then? You either bought Trump steaks or you didn't.
So there was the whole presidential thing, yada 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 yada. Then all of a sudden, you know, there's obviously you have the left, the right, and then people that I put myself in is I care about my country. That's why I signed up to protect my country against enemies, foreign and domestic.
Proud of you, braver than me. Good job.
But thank you, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
But the idea is shit. See, we got me lost again.
No, I fucked up. Sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I do this.
No. It's all good. It's bad enough. I digress all the time. I mean, that's why I call it the might have managed train of digression. But damn it, what were you just saying?
Well, see,
the
now
last few.
Problem.
You were talking presidential relations.
Let's just talk about how the government knew that 9/11 was going to happen. Let's just talk about that.
Oh, Atlanta.
I got a lot of thoughts on this, man.
So
I got a lot of thoughts on this. I think I actually do believe 9/11 has a conspiracy involved with it. I do.
So I mean, seeing how like today's political society is being handled, which unfortunately is impacting the civilian and the military side of America's society. Yeah, you can sit there and literally, and I believe they can and have and they do pick and choose who and what they go after, without a doubt.
100%. And then get into the United States government a little bit more. Let's actually research the things that have been declassified. For the folks, for the folks who don't like that, I say Forrest Fenn was maybe related to DB Cooper, okay? Because DB, that means he's a hijacker, he's a terrorist. Well, I'm basing this off of a book called Ha Ha Ha, where he isn't a terrorist. He never actually brought a real bomb on board. He writes in the book how it was fake just to confuse the stewardess. And so he makes a real point about how no one's life was ever truly on the line. Okay. But then we get it. Oh, fuck. Now I forgot my point. What was the point of this? What was the question? Well,
There was no question or a
Oh,
point to be
CIA.
made.
No, CIA. The whole point of this.
Okay.
My main point is I agree with all of the things I just said as counter arguments to me, despite what really happened. I truly believe in the heart of my hearts, and I've always believed this, and I think Alan has too. If Forrest Fenn was related to the DB Cooper caper, that means the DB Cooper caper has to involve the CIA. And that's been our theory for multiple years now. And now with the release and leak of 2.0 to state that Forrest Fenn was CIA, now all of a sudden it's not Forrest Fenn, oh, the aw shucks guy who got F's in high school who prayed for these. No.
Was he embellishing a story?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or is this part of the military record search to see if he was CIA too?
No,
or
this isn't even part of military record search. He said he prayed for D's in school. If you actually look at his school records, he's in the physics club and student council. I know from experience in a more liberal 1990s world and 2000s world, you're not allowed to be in student council or the physics club unless you have good grades. Forrest's father was a principal, and he was in the physics club and the fucking student council. Forrest got good grades. I'm sorry. If you think Forrest got bad grades because you got, not you, if you think Forrest got bad grades because you got bad grades, I'm sorry. He didn't. I got bad grades in high school. I got grades. I did pray for the, but Forrest Fenn, no fucking way. And now we know he's CIA. Get out of here. If you don't understand that there was more to this chase, you never understood it in the first place.
Well, there's just like a diamond or a stone or a diamond in the rough, stone, a jewel, or even like a rock, round rock. You go with a spear. Many sides to it. And then
Lucky
CIA just happens to be one of them. Lucky who? What?
Sorry, Kiwi. I saw a comment from Lucky Digger. Lucky Digger says, didn't see physics club. That was Skippy. Skippy was in the physics club as well. I found a yearbook with Forrest in it. I found a yearbook with Forrest in it his junior year, and I put it on Discord, and it shows Forrest in the lineup for the physics club. Forrest Fenn was 100% in the physics club. Nobody with F's is in the physics club. Nobody. And then this man shot to the top of radar school and ended up as a major? Nope. Not nope.
A smart man.
It's just nope that, oops, maybe you didn't understand his resume. Maybe Forrest kind of sold himself as a guy who was, aw shucks. And who told us, Kiwi, who told the searcher community, do not fall for Forrest Fenn's aw shucks attitude? You know who told us that, Kiwi? CIA agent Valerie Plame.
I have no idea who she is.
I'll tell you then. Valerie Plame was a CIA agent for us. She was outed by our own government. And after she was outed, she has done interviews and pictures where she poses with Forrest Fenn. And she has given a quote, do not fall for Forrest Fenn's aw shucks attitude. Do not fall for it. And that's a CIA agent telling us this. And now what have we found? He was affiliated with the CIA. Gee, all the people, and it's not just me, all the people in the chase who screamed, Forrest is telling us he flew over Laos. Forrest is telling us he went to Russia in the middle of the Cold War. These are only actions of a CIA agent. End of story. You do not fly over Laos unless you are part of the CIA. That's fucking 100%. And now we have Forrest's R&R 2.0 that says he was CIA. I disagree with Troy when he says nothing was in that 2.0. I agree with him at 99% rate, but there was something in there that says he's CIA. That's fucking huge.
Well, I'm curious to get into that when for other reasons. You know, I'm more interested in the stories you got to share about him and his father, or more particular the Madison, because that's me. You know.
Well, no, I agree. I think there's all sorts of stories here. Do you want to be interested in Forrest at in 1953, who maybe gets invited by his dad on his 23rd birthday, who goes to the Madison? Fuck yeah, I want to know all about that. But in the same
Yeah.
way, I want to know, what did he do over Laos? He says in this little bio, he has a video to accompany explaining his time in the CIA. I want to know
Oh,
about that.
really?
Oh, yeah, that
Who
was
wouldn't
in
want to see
Cornell as
that?
well. I want to see that, baby. I want to see how Forrest is affiliated with the CIA. Because the overarching argument to DB Cooper is that was a CIA operation. The reason DB Cooper has never been caught is because it was a CIA operation. There were multiple
I wonder
hijackings.
if it was. I was gonna say, what if it was a training op on how to better handle hijackings? So they
Ooh,
did
I like that too. And
psyop.
I'll trade that. I think it's a conglomeration of all of that, actually. What was
I mean, that's
happening
how I would see it.
at the same time as this hijacking, a year or two before, a record amount of airplanes were being hijacked from Miami and flown to Cuba. Nobody would ever be at
Oh,
risk.
really?
Yeah, nobody would ever be at risk, but it would happen enough and frequently enough that the government was aware of it. And the rumor and allegation, if the CIA was involved, is Congress, and we all know how Congress is, Congress didn't want to create any new laws about hijackings. They didn't want to infiltrate security and freedoms of getting on a plane. And the military said, you guys don't understand this. This is a new weakness for our
I got a
infrastructure.
question for you.
Yeah.
When did the air marshal start? Was that
Air
after?
Marshal started after 9/11. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase this. They claim air marshals started after 9/11. I still believe we had air marshals in the 90s, but the air marshal routine,
I
the
would think that they would have had air marshals prior because of the hijackings to help
not in 1970, not in 1970. Not in 1971. There is no proof of any kind of mission or operation where we had marshals on board the planes. But what we do have is proof that the CIA was considering, and this is all declassified, the CIA was one signature, Kiwi, one signature away from being able to blow up a commercial airliner over Cuban airspace to start a war with Castro to get Castro out of power. We were one signature away from that. We were willing to blow up a plane with civilians on it. So absolutely, the CIA is willing to hijack a plane where no one is at risk. But afterwards, if they make it a big deal and a big media to do, then all of a sudden Congress goes, yeah, we need some rules. And guess what happened right after the DB Cooper hijacking? 1 year, Congress instituted the first round of airline protection.
That's crazy. It's amazing what they can do with the power that they have. And again, that's the control of flow of information too.
It's a flow of information. And look, Forrest might just know who DB Cooper was. Forrest writes us a scrapbook about how I think it's Bip. Bip eats some money, and then Bip shits out the money, and then Forrest has to clean the money. Guys, I don't know how to explain this to you, but that's called money laundering.
Yeah, it is.
Is it maybe possible that Forrest Fenn wasn't DB Cooper, but he laundered the money of DB Cooper?
Yeah, that's money laundering. You got to wash it and clean it.
Why did Forrest write a scrapbook about money laundering? That's a question I would love for the community to answer, because the only explanation I have for it is DB Cooper.
That would be some interesting stuff. Some good material too.
And if it's wrong, fine. It's wrong. No big deal. All right, swing and a miss. There's nothing wrong.
Oh, who doesn't like what ifs? You know, that's the whole point of imagination and knowledge and dreaming, right?
Do you see what Indy's doing right now?
I mean,
do this. Look at your camera. Look at your camera. She's like doing some. I think she's doing beer pong or something.
Or she's on mute
flipping
too. I mean, I'm like, what happened to Indy? I mean, all I hear is Ben. He keeps yammering. There you go. It looks like you're at my house. We got a pool table in our garage too.
Indy, you're still muted, just in case you knew that or didn't know that. She knows. Okay. She knows. Okay. That's funny. All right, I guess we're gonna see how bad Indy sucks at pool.
Is she playing? How would you call this? Pool bong?
Yeah, I don't know. I see twisted tees. Okay, so like the folks at home can't see what we're seeing, but I see twisted tees and a pool stick on the table, but I do see the beer pong cups.
I see it too.
Right? I don't know what they're prepared. You know what it is? You know what I think they're doing? They're gonna play a game of billiards, but like people who fuck up their shots are gonna have to like take a swig out of the red cup. That's what I'm thinking.
Dude, that would be cool. That'd be a cool pool game.
Right? You fuck up your shit, you gotta take a swig or something.
Yeah.
Like if you call a shot and you miss, take a drink.
I was wondering where she was at. I'm like, is she even gonna pipe in at all, or is there no room for her to pipe in because Ben just is going? He sounds like me.
I'm a yapper.
I'm like, what happened? I love it.
I can't help it. I can't help it, man.
No, I love it. It gives me a break from talking, and people, I've never had so many people on at once. It's amazing.
Well, dude, I think it's time for this community to, just move on in a good way. Like, look, what do we have looking forward to? What do we have to look forward to? If we didn't have the family member, the grandson, the guy who lived with Forrest, let's not forget COVID hit us in 2020, right at the case, right?
Now, see that was a big trauma in itself. How many searchers out there themselves maybe have even passed, and they know people, and they couldn't even be there. They couldn't even be there.
Now imagine this. Now imagine Kiwi. Go back in time. Imagine it's March 2020.
Oh, hold on. Somebody just rolled a drink across that table. Make sure you tap the top of it before you open it. Whoever's on the other side of the receiving end that's playing with Indy. I mean,
she's playing beer pong.
Like shaking it up.
She's playing beer pong behind the pool table now. Okay. All right. What was I saying? Sorry. Shit. I forgot already.
Oh, we were talking about how that happens.
I forgot. Fuck it.
Yeah, me too. That's how it rolls.
It's all good.
I mean, that's how conversations. I like to keep it rolling. You forget it, you come back to it. I mean, if it's important enough. Sometimes though, it's like right there at the tip of your tongue. You're like,
right. It bothers me all the time. I think my main overall point was, despite if people think that Shiloh was talking to me or not, on all the messages that I've shared, and that if Shiloh is still talking to me, I put my reputation behind it. If Shiloh wasn't talking to me, he can come out and say he wasn't. He can come out tomorrow and say he wasn't. He can come out in 6 months and say he wasn't. I guarantee you that's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. People got their connections. People try to get their connections. I mean, as long as there's no harm and fouling going on when you're trying to get connections,
and
you know what I mean?
Thing. But that's the thing, Kiwi.
It's going to happen because it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Sure, but then who knows me versus what they know about me versus what they think about me, it can be incorrect. And
that's true.
I think that's going on with Street, right? Street, man, dude. Let me speak to you.
The Street on here?
No, he's not. I don't know.
Is he in the room? Hola, senor.
He'll hear this. He'll hear this whether he's here or not.
I don't know. I mean, talking Tuesdays and Kiwis Road. I mean, we're not that big, But
Sure, but
we're
someone
hoping that Talking Tuesdays will be like worldwide, though.
Well, I like worldwide. Very good. But someone can tell Street, oh, well,
All right, I'll tell Street.
Ben tried to say something directly to you at the blank minute mark. Street. This is that.
And Q.
Street.
We're at minute mark. Something.
I called you, man.
I don't know.
Street. I talked to you at length about this, man. I gave you the truth, man. I gave Greg screenshots, man. I don't know why we're ignoring that part. You can be as angry as me as you want. That's fair, man. That's totally fair. The representation of driving around your house, that's bullshit. That's bullshit on a stick, and you know it. I told you single-handedly. There was a screenshot taken from Google Maps by someone I wasn't in control over, and they took that screenshot of Google Maps and AutoZone and posted it. Someone in your comments said, "Oh, gee, that's where you live." That's someone posted a fucking screenshot of a Google Maps. No one drove around your house. And when that happened, when that person posted that shot of Google Maps, I showed you the screenshots where I say to that person, dude, you cross that. No, I don't care if you're legally able to do that. You ethically crossed the line. Shut it down. And Street knows I did that because I showed it to him. So Street, you can come after me. It's pointless. It's useless. I just want to get along. I confessed to my sins. Can you confess to yours?
I mean, that's a hard thing, asking for forgiveness and stuff and admitting when we're wrong and whatnot,
I was wrong. I was wrong. It took me, and look, it took me, I don't know when did this happen? Like July 2021? It took me till sometime in July. It took me a year basically to figure out how to confess to it. Even though I knew I didn't do anything legally wrong. I knew I created a login and I gave that login credential to a person and I never logged in again. And that was my mistake. I fucked up. That's my bad. I would never do it again.
I mean, that's part of life is learning lessons, and sometimes you have to learn the hard way. Whether we learn them the hard way the first time or not, we don't know. I'm always a student of learning.
Sure. Yeah.
But for me, I mean, in the chase marketplace, but in life in general, I mean, as long as somebody's not trying to do something that would interfere for my health and safety, my family's health and safety, or our whereabouts,
Agreed.
our properties, health and safety, then I don't, I shouldn't have a problem with anybody out there in the chase community, in the chase marketplace.
I'm with you. I mean? And this is why
I try to be cordial to everybody because I'd rather have more friends than enemies, is how I look at it.
And I love you for it, man. I do. And I love Street for the way he conducts himself. Now, Street in 2021? No, I don't agree with that. But okay, so what? Who gives a shit what my moral compass is? No one cares.
A lot of people's channels either have stayed the same, have grown in different ways, or have gone down in different ways.
But here's my problem with this.
It comes down to how people relay themselves and what they say and what they do.
I have a feeling, and I know no one will believe me, and that's okay. I don't care.
I believe you.
I don't care what my clicks are. I don't care what my subscribe count is. I don't. I never have. I've never asked for $1. I've turned down every single dollar that has been offered to me about this chase. Turned it all down. Believe me, I've been offered a lot, offered a ton, and I've turned it all down. That has to speak for something. It just has to.
Well, I mean, if you're asking if it has to, I mean, I would ask the same questions myself, but for me, where was I gonna go with there? It was a good one too. Damn it.
Well,
it wasn't a negative thing.
Were you gonna come to me with
and this isn't a challenge, but it was a. I mean, look, I think a lot of people have some questions. I think a lot of people question. I don't think a lot of people question your motivations, Kiwi. I don't even think many people question Street's motivations or Greg or even Greg's. I think a lot of people are very confused, and maybe I'm being too egotistical.
Everybody's motivation is their own.
Sure, but I think a lot of people wonder about what my motivation is. They still think I'm here to be on some Netflix documentary. Even this is the funny part.
That's what I was gonna say. Hold on, real quick. Is your motivation is yours for why you would have turned those things down? It's not for anybody else. I mean, that's your prerogative. That's your business.
Sure.
That's where I was gonna go with that when I was saying.
I appreciate that.
So.
Yeah, but for Barb, but when I hear Barb and Street saying the same thing or saying the same thing about me, it's like, wait, you guys fight all the time. So you both think I'm trying to do this for Netflix? You're both wrong, as usual. You're not going to see me on a fucking Netflix documentary. I have news for you. I have never done this to be on a documentary. You will not see me on a documentary because that's not my motivation at all. I have no interest in being on camera. None.
I can neither confirm nor deny if you'd see me on a documentary. I don't know. You never know.
I helped
I'll tell you what. Yeah. I mean, if Netflix comes knocking on my door, I'd be more than happy to take them along for the ride.
Sure. But
Kiwi, why wouldn't I? Because I'd be dumb. But
Kiwi, I would tell you are dumb. I would tell you are dumb, and let me tell you why. Not because you are actually dumb. I'm not.
I'd have to learn why, so that way I'm not dumb anymore. In that
because I would never trust a documentary to.
I wouldn't trust.
No. Think about how permanent this is. Think about how permanent it is.
Absolutely.
I would never trust them to put me on camera and tell my story. They will turn it and burn it.
That's what I was about to say earlier. We were talking about movies and stuff.
Okay.
Is the past, the build up, the present, whatever, yada yada. The end isn't the way we expect it. It's because the end wasn't made for us. The end was made for the director, the person who's directing it and filming it all, putting it all together. That's what his envision of his epicness was and his grandeur, just like in all movies, boils down. And I think that's why a lot of searchers out there are like, what the hell's going on? Just like watch a movie. I don't like the ending of that movie. The ending sucked, It's because it wasn't what we built up and expected, because it didn't end the way we wanted or we would have seen it end. It went the way the director wanted it to go and how he wanted the vision to come out.
That's why I love director's commentary. I love director's commentary.
Bill, you're a director commentary, yeah? No?
Bill, what up, man? He's muted. Bill, you're muted.
Yeah, I don't know how he's muted. They don't show that he's muted.
Bill, you don't have a mute symbol, and so whatever you're doing, it's a microphone issue.
Yeah, for a minute I thought maybe it was helping me teach Kiwi sign language, but Kiwi's not out here to learn sign language, so I mean she's doing really good on learning sign language.
I guess we'll see if you can.
The AMD audio.
There you go. I hear you now.
Yeah, I had to switch. It was trying to do it with my Bluetooth speaker. Don't have a microphone. But knowing that anybody doing a Netflix is somebody producing something and hoping to sell it to Netflix. It's not Netflix, right?
I agree. Bill,
so
thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Would you rather be in that, or would you rather be doing a shoot with Warm Springs Productions 5 miles down the road from Kevin and Harrison? Who are doing shoots for Warm Springs Productions? Which would you rather be doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm doing my own.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of any production. How about that?
So I look at it this way: is like, Forrest Fenn, The Thrill of the Chase was a story. I felt that there was more to the story than just the chest and the manner in which the words, the poems he uses and he speaks. It's like I have a vision that I feel would
You,
compilate him in a sense. So
you didn't hear the cryptic part of what I said.
no, what's that?
Warm Springs Productions. Warm Springs Productions, where warm water halts. Okay, and where was Creighton? Where was Creighton married? In a barn.
I don't know.
He was married in a barn. Where did they do my shoot? In a dairy barn.
Hey, Bill.
Where did the sacred cow create the Milky Way? In
cool.
A dairy barn. And
Hey, Bill.
the dairy barn they did my shoot in is used for weddings.
Bill.
Nice.
Alan made a comment here, and I want you to hear it. Alan says, "Did you know Bill hung out at DB Cooper's bar in San Jose, California?" Bill,
yeah. They have a man. There's a mannequin with his arms and legs stretched out and money like up above him, and he's on a ceiling fan spinning on the ceiling, with his parachute.
Really?
Well, no.
Imagine?
How did you find this bar? Tell me the story.
That was the late 80s, I think, or no,
Late
that was
80s?
the middle 90s, 96, 97. When I was out there, I was out there about 10 months in California.
Did you learn anything about DB Cooper at that bar?
Back when Hail Bop was around.
Oh shit! No shit. Didn't the death cult like kill themselves over that comment?
I was hanging out. I was going to all the Lamont and Tonelli parties.
What was the crazy?
You
Bill,
get around,
the
weren't
Bill-
you, Bill?
Yeah, Lamont and Tonelli, they knew me.
Bill,
They'd
what
have
was
their
the
calendar girls there signing calendars.
Bill, tell me the craziest thing that happened to you in the chase. The craziest thing.
Yeah.
Well, the
Like,
craziest thing,
yeah.
I just going to Greece was crazy, man. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Hey, seriously though, thank you for sharing those videos and stuff, because
The chase.
it's a different perspective seeing videos and pictures of different countries and stuff versus reading it. So thank you for sharing that.
Okay, the chase going for okay, the hat doffing and mildew was one event. He did the hat doffing and then his private eye gave me back my phone. He says, "Here, take a picture of us now." And the picture was him and Forrest and Cynthia. That's the team right there. His private eye, Forrest, Fenn, and Cynthia. And so Cynthia witnessed the hat doffing. Cynthia was there to can admit that no, Bill wasn't dragging that thing around all over the place. It fell over on its face.
About
and
a
I
car part?
back up. Yeah. It was sitting right there. Forrest had two chairs set up next to it. And so Forrest
I got a question for you. Who set
chair,
them chairs up? Who set them chairs up in front of it?
Probably Cynthia or Forrest. Forrest instructed somebody to do it, I'm sure. Because he sat in the chair opposite of where the car part was. And so whoever he was sitting next to him was sitting between him and it. and it was, if it was a snake, it'd bite him on the ass and they didn't even notice it.
Well,
it's a fuel tank, just like the wing of his airplane. That's why the back half of the car was gone. The back half of the plane was torn off with the anchor chain. The anchor is not on Street's ass. It was on the tail of the airplane. And that's where my war for me story.
I don't know what that's got to do with Forrest Fenn stuff. I mean, that's between you and him, sir.
You're not putting together the synchronicities. The bullet hole through the wing of this.
I put together.
The bullet hole through the wing of his plane was his fuel tank. He leaked all his fuel out and crash landed. The back of the plane was torn off. The car is in the back stretch of the lowercase d, the long part in the middle. It's a runway in the middle of the runway, and the back half of the car was torn off. It was gone. Just like the airplane, the back half of the plane was torn off. It was rusty. It's the rusty key. He was sitting on a seat cushion in the back of the car when they crashed in the creek. The seat cushion springs were in front of the car by the creek. So you can't put all these synchronicities together and not have a match.
Right. I appreciate that.
It just doesn't work that way. And it was in the D of the word wood. When you look down on Google Earth, you put west at the top, and the word wood is there at Tucker Ponds. What is tuckered? Tired and weak. So that's where the wood is, at tired and weak. But he took it with him. So from there, that's only the physical alpha. The Model A is an alpha car.
I can't wait to get you guys on Talking Tuesdays. It'd be really interesting to have you on there.
Moses was the alpha
male.
male.
The first one though to hit that Zoom link though.
Moses was the alpha male. So after find a car to take it with you, you had to go past the light at the end of the tunnel. On the other side of the tunnel was Moses, up on the left side. And he's the catcher in the rye, standing on that crazy cliff, watching everybody down below searching for something.
It's crazy.
The catcher in the rye, is Moses, is the one that modeled for his pinyon pine Moses. And pinyon pine Moses, since he was carved out of pinyon pine, he had pinyon nuts.
But see, this is where I jump in, Kiwi. Sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
Catcher in the Rye.
This is what I like about Talking Tuesdays, though, is this kind of stuff.
We're talking Fridays here. In my opinion, Catcher in the Rye means only one thing, and that is this. Forrest Fenn said, "The thrill of the chase works like a sequel to Catcher in the Rye." Forrest Fenn is Holden Caulfield. Hey. Holden Caulfield's brother goes by one name. Can you guess it? I'll tell you. His Holden Caulfield's brother's name in The Catcher in the Rye is DB.
DB what?
DB Caulfield. DBC. DB Cooper. 423. My parents are buried at row 4, plot 23. 4, 2,
over
there.
there.
4, 2, 3. Easy as DBC.
There you go. I like it. Break out in song. Don't
very
stop.
simple.
What if Sergeant Salinger was CIA also?
I think CIA can easily be involved in all of this. Sergeant Salinger, absolutely. SS. I mean, come on. I agree.
He landed at Normandy and marched to Paris, where he met Hemingway.
And where did we do the Great Distraction on June 5th and June 6th? Normandy.
Okay, when does the Dial of Destiny come out?
June 30th, baby. Bill?
It used to say June 5th. It was June 5th. They changed it.
They changed it. Bill, this is where you and I, Bill, you're going to fucking love me. Bill, you're going to in the Discord, I have put out a new theory, and it's not DB Cooper. My new theory is all of this is going to be explained somehow in a little Easter egg in Indiana Jones 5. Indiana Jones 5.
I think
That would be cool.
Indiana Jones 5's last trailer. Okay? Indiana Jones 5, the final trailer, is Indiana Jones waking up in a chair as an old man with Sympathy for the Devil as the theme song. Forrest Fenn's final words. Forrest Fenn's final words to the community were, "Sometimes I just feel so diabolical." Diabolical devil. Indiana Jones wakes up with sympathy for the devil playing. Have you looked up the lyrics for Sympathy of the Devil? Please allow me to
But have you?
to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and fame.
Oh, that yeah.
What's puzzling
The name
you?
of the movie, though.
Hold on. What's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Hope you guess my name. Hope you guess my name, baby. Indiana Jones is Forrest Fenn. Indiana Jones 5 is where the fun begins. That's
It's called the Dial of Destiny, and I dialed Forrest Fenn on May 27th, 2020. So was it 10 days later, or it's found?
Well,
So-
then you just throw like an ancient Aztec sundial in there.
Would you sit on it for 10 days before you said something? Wouldn't you sit on it for 10 days? And he was prepping for this. He was giving Dale misinformation in 2019 because he signed all these papers in 2017. No, nobody talks about my 23-minute talk with Lorraine Mills on the phone.
I mean, just think about this. I mean, he says it right there in the thrill of the chase. You know, I'm gonna embellish some of these stories. He tells it to you right there. And I say black and white, but this is more like black letters on like a tan colored page. But yeah, he literally sits there and almost tells you, hey, you know, I'm going to try to tell you these stories, but some of them, they're going to have some embellishment to it. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I might be mistaken. Most likely I'm wrong, though.
I gotta find my Once Upon a While. Isn't the first chapter in Once Upon a While about Fred Harmon, the guy that made the Red Ryder BB gun that stopped the warm of the bird?
Bill, let me jump in. Let's go Once Upon a While for a second. Let's go back to Doug Preston.
It's done book.
Doug Preston.
Later, Indy.
Doug Preston sits there with Forrest and Shiloh when they do the interview for Once Upon a While. And Doug Preston, of all people, is questioned about the origins of the Codex, the origins of how you met Forrest, the origins about how they started to plan together. And Doug Preston says a specific comment. He talks about how he wrote a screenplay and how he gave this screenplay to his college mentor writer who was a big Hollywood producer, and they didn't make it. Linda, thank you. And then Doug,
she worked on Contact and Interstellar.
Yes,
and Interstellar.
Interstellar Contact. Interstellar spiritual space. I get it. All of this adds up to Doug Preston stating one day they're going to make that movie. And when he says that movie, he's talking about the
I pointed that out.
I know you did. That's why I'm bringing it up to you, because I know you did, because I watched you, I listened to you, I respect you. He said one day they're going to make that movie. That movie is the movie. The movie.
What movie? What is it labeled? The movie, or is it like the movie? Is it like Indiana Jones 5?
It's gonna be.
Or like the movie is something else.
Yeah, it's Indiana Jones 5. Why do you think both the chase and Indiana Jones 5 have been held up?
When did the chase start? 2009.
2010.
Nope.
9-10.
2009. It started in 2010. It started in 2010 officially. The movie was supposed to be released. The movie was supposed to be released in 2009. The chase started after Indiana Jones 4 happened. Then the chase ends.
That's the car. Where did the car go? Just like Suzanne Summers.
Indiana Jones 5. Hold on. Indiana Jones 5 goes into production as soon as the chase ends?
Ooh.
Indiana
Huh?
Jones 4 Indiana Jones 4 started the chase. Indiana Jones 5 goes into production at the end of the chase. Steven Spielberg
Yeah,
is
and
not involved in Indiana Jones 5, allegedly. And right at the end, right
So
now,
who's involved with it?
hold on.
Uh-oh.
In the last 2 months, Steven Spielberg has admitted he is in fact part of the production of Indiana Jones 5. And he made sure that certain storyline moments were inserted. Spielberg knew Forrest. Spielberg was Forrest's biggest client. I guarantee you,
all right.
Spielberg got the inspiration for
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Well,
Okay.
how do you know?
When-
Hold on. How do you know Steven Spielberg was Forrest Fenn's biggest client, and how?
Okay,
Like in what client in which way too?
Look,
Like
when they
he's got a lot of
let me
picture
say
show.
it. Let me say it. I got the
Go, Bill, go.
answer.
Go.
When they filmed Indiana Jones 4, which of them stayed in Forrest Fenn's guest house?
Boom.
I don't know.
Bill knows it.
They
Bill
were
knows the story.
Spielberg or Lucas. Which one? One of them stayed in his
know.
guest house.
How do you know?
They had to.
How do you know that though?
Because it's tied, because the car is in the opening scene. It disappears. Suzanne Summers in the T-Bird, it disappears. The
What, are they filming
57
at Forrest
T-Bird
Fenn's house
won the
or
chili
something, or what?
cook-off. The 57 T-Bird won the chili cook-off.
Bill, what would you say? Bill, what would you say if
It's
I
not the
told
fucking
if,
face, it's the car.
Bill, what would you say if I told you that I have been working on an interview with Suzanne Summers?
Yeah.
And, are you?
Okay, and in that,
are you telling the
question
truth?
her
Yes,
about the car.
Oh, hold on.
The
I will ask her
car.
about I'm going to ask her about the car. Kiwi, am I telling the
It's a
truth? Yes.
Ford
And
Roadster, just like Indiana Jones.
Here's how you can tell that I'm telling the truth, Kiwi. My stepmother, who is my mom, was on a little show called The Love Boat. You might have heard of it. She was a main character.
Did you say
on
the Love Goat?
The Love Boat?
What,
Okay, the Love
The-
Boat.
the-
it sounded like you said the Love
blonde,
Goat.
the
I was like,
blonde,
wait a minute.
My stepmom was the little girl on the Love Boat. She was involved in every single.
The plane. Or no, is
She
that
was
the same
also
one?
no. That's Fantasy Island.
Tattoo.
did she know tattoo? The plane.
Actually, she
I
did.
don't know.
Yes. No.
The
she
plane.
did.
The plane.
Because
No?
they all hung out because they all filmed next to each other. So yes, they did. But
All right.
but
I like
Oh,
this.
they had combined shows too. The
so,
Love Boat went to Fantasy Island, didn't it?
exactly, yes. My point is
Fantasy Island. There it is.
because my stepmom is the little girl on the Love Boat, she knows Suzanne Summers. Oh, Ben, you're just making up shit. Okay, go Google the fucking little girl on the Love Boat. Go Google.
So they
my
stayed
last
in
name.
touch their life together? They stayed in contact and whatnot?
Yes, and so I have been put in touch with Suzanne
That's
Summers.
cool.
Yes, and we're
Okay.
working on an interview.
Interview on
Where's
what?
the cold?
Like
Where's
about
the
what?
cold? Where does Richard Dreyfuss keep his Oscar?
Richard Dreyfuss keeps his Oscar. Wait, hold on. Richard Dreyfuss filmed with my fiance Ashley. Richard Dreyfuss and Ashley have been in the same production together. Interesting you bring
Oh,
that up.
wow.
His Oscar is in his refrigerator.
Right.
Okay.
This is a fact.
Hey, he's keeping
It's
it
worth the
chill
cold.
for, you know.
And Forrest has the scrapbook about an awards ceremony for the Western thing, and he wanted to be in the Oscars, right? oh, I didn't tell you, one of my new friends, he's a photographer for the UN. Why did they send these people to me? Why did they send?
Nomadic, what are we making? Nomadic, what are we making up right now? Or
Fly on
Sensei Pro Se. Will Ben get the interview same as the $1 Million Hunt not happen? By the way, yes, I actually said in Discord I'm not doing the $1 Million Hunt.
Oh, you're not doing it now? Ah, man.
So I have a solution though. I have a solution.
And
Here's
Use
what
somebody
happened.
to know your
Hold on,
Hey.
hold on, Kiwi.
Hold on.
Let me
Hold on.
explain.
Before you answer though, did that that football fantasy thing work out for you the way that you were crunching the numbers for, or did it not?
Yes, no, that did, but people
Awesome.
don't.
That's cool.
People don't understand. And I'll just say it like this because I can say it like this and not get in trouble. And you can record it and show it to DraftKings. It won't matter. Bean Apple 1 isn't my only username on DraftKings.
Right?
So
why would you? I mean, a smart person would have like 10 in there, be like, yo, no, man, I gotta keep track of all these.
So
bookies.
I wanted to do the $1 million hunt. I showed an email. Hooli of all people asked me for an example. I said, look, I'm not. Someone asked me literally last night, are you going to still do it? And I said, look, everybody's expecting me to back out and not do it. Here's the thing, I'm not going to do it. And everyone in Discord was like, oh, fuck you, Ben. Fuck you, Ben. I get it. And
hey, I mean, you got to watch out for yourself. You're number one first before anybody else. And that includes your family's number one, you know? And if you can't do it, it's not feasible, then, hey, you can't do it. It's not feasible.
Well, it's
the idea, the thought was count.
Sure, and maybe I shouldn't have announced it. But the thing was, I thought I could. I still think I could. However, Hooli asked me for like, what was the weird things that happened to you, Ben, that made you change your mind? And I was like, okay, well, I'll give you an example. And I pulled up the latest email I got from a Proton Mail server account. And that email stated something to the effect of, hey, Ben, you probably shouldn't do your little $1 million hunt. You have capitalized small children, and you should be worried about them. And I looked at that email and I was like, look, this is a Proton Mail account. Obviously, I'm not worried about the children. However, this is just item 17 on a list that's happened since I announced it. Okay, I get it. This community can't handle a big hunt because they lose their fucking mind.
So here's what I'm going to do ridiculous. Instead. That's ridiculous. And I don't understand. See, that's the thing. I don't understand. Forrest Fenn created something to promote a positive thing to happen. And there's people out there in this chase marketplace that I see on YouTube and Facebook that are doing some things. And it's like, I don't understand why it's got to go negative when you can still keep this thing going positive.
It can, and it will. It will. I'm not that worried about it. What I came up with was a solution. Look, I think Team Fenn, whoever that is, Shiloh, the Finder, whoever it all is, Forrest, pre-written, I think they have something planned for us. So I don't want to get in the way of that. But at the same time, I don't need the hassle of $1 million thing. So what I've decided to do instead is I'm going to do a series of $50,000 hunts. I'm going to take my $1 million budget. I'm going to divide it. And I'm going to do a series of back to back $50,000 hunts. That's what I'm going to do. It's not huge. It's 50,000. It's not a big deal.
So, I'm sure you know.
By Clyde Tarot, or
I mean, and I'd have to ask why not. It'd behoove me to make the connection if it hasn't been made already. But I'm sure you know that there's that lady that's doing the 6,000 in every state. That's 50 states.
Yes, I love that.
50? What's 50 times 50,000?
250,000.
So if you got with that lady, then you could turn it into not just a $6,000 hunt.
No,
or
too much.
$50,000
Nope,
hunt, but
too much.
56.
It's too much.
No, too much.
People start doing weird things. People just start doing. I don't have those.
Yeah, and it's your right there. You're right.
I have.
She's got her thing. You got yours. Yeah.
I have enough money. I have enough money to do the hunt. What I don't have enough money is, or what I don't have enough money for, is dealing with the 12 lawsuits that are going to come with it, dealing with the extra security you have to do. Now I got to move into a different, like these are things I thought I might have had to do. I'm not sure. So I figured I'll announce it a little early while I'm doing a puzzle already, the Impossible Poem. And I'm just going to test the waters. Well, the waters were tested. Okay. $1 million.
The waters were tested with Forrest.
Exactly.
The waters
And
were
you know what?
tested with Forrest.
And that's what
And
Ashley told me. Ashley literally told me, she goes, what do you even need to test? You already know. And I go, yeah, I still need to test.
yeah,
And
I mean,
the test kind of, reminded me even of myself.
yeah.
Ben, you started looking up people. You thought people were part of a conspiracy, and so you decided not to break laws as it's been described, but you decided, Ben, to use your Google foo, and you use that Google foo to look up every public record available. I'm sorry that public records are fucking available. So
that's why they're
and
called
guess what?
public records.
But that reminds me of why I should not be so naive. And it was dumb of me.
Yeah.
Now, that
But
doesn't
see,
mean
that's
I'm going
the
to back
thing.
down, though. $50,000 each time I do a puzzle. It's not going to be $50,000 in each state or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do $50,000 at a time. I want to do something fun just to keep things, lively. I don't care about, if it gets press or anything like that. And then whatever the fuck is going on in this chase happens, whatever that is, because something's going on. If you don't think something's going on, why are you still here? Like, honestly,
Right.
have to think something's going on. And you're right. Something is going on. Something is going on. And guess what?
There's multiple facets.
We're all going to be a little bit rewarded for sticking around.
I said long before he called it over, long before, years before, because it was the worth the cold is Charlton Heston's from My Cold Dead Hands. It is that it wasn't going to end until he was dead. He said something has to happen, and that's what he had to die for it to end. And he picked Grandma Moses' day to die, and then Peggy died on Charlton Heston's birthday.
If you think about it, it when I seen the pictures of Forrest at that table, I mean, he looked like he was in good health, and then all of a sudden he passes. It's almost like it was serendipitous for it to happen that way, that he lasted that long, just so that it would be found, serendipitously, however.
And can't we talk about something a little bit? I don't know.
2015, he was in good shape in 2015, but he declined over the 5 years between then and when he went. I almost had to catch. He was going to fall on. He was falling backward, and I almost had to catch him, but he caught himself. But he was heading down.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
When was that?
The 2016 February.
Let's see. That is one of the biggest questions that always weighs in my mind. Is
2017
what was Forrest Fenn's physical stature in 2010? When he hit it. I mean, was he in good health?
He was doing good in 2015. 2015, he was doing good, but he declined by 2020.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Because a lot of people think I'm what some people refer to as a nooker. Here's a question I ask on the fucking daily. And if you could understand how I'm asking this question, you would understand I'm not a nooker. The question is, and the question that I've been asking for multiple years now, the same question that got me banned on Thor, the same question that got me banned on Facebook. Here's the question. Cynthia, if you were told in August of 2020 that Forrest Fenn fell in the Madison River on his final leg, so I did it 2 times in one day. Okay, so you cross the river, you drop your bag of gold, then you put the chest down, then you go back, cross the river to go get the gold, then you go back and cross the river again to go deposit the gold in the chest that you left, and now you're walking home. It's done. It's over. And Cynthia's commentary is, at that leg of the trip, Forrest fell in the Madison. Okay. All right. Now let's add that with, Forrest told me about the 150-foot fishing line. Forrest told me
about the Xmas card. Oh,
150-foot fishing line.
oh God, you guys are missing.
I've kind of heard a little bit about a 150-foot fishing line, which I still haven't like looked up or referenced or anything. I mean, what was there a fishing line tied to a tree that was tied to another tree?
The story, according to Cynthia, is when she hung out with Forrest in August of 2020, he told her about some 150-foot line of string. You can call it a fishing line, call it whatever you want. It doesn't even have to matter. It doesn't matter. The reason it matters in this argument is as follows. Cynthia, you were told all of these things. And then October of 2020, you went out and said, GPS, DeLacy Creek. You knew damn well that Forrest fell in the river, according to the official story. There is no river at DeLacy Creek. There is no river at the GPS solve. So why are you
Where's
pushing
DeLacy Creek?
The DeLacy Creek solve is
where is it? Where's DeLacy Creek? Where
45 minutes from 9 Mile Hole deeper into the park. It's near the Continental Divide at inside.
Okay. I mean, did Forrest? So here's, and for me, it's always the same question. If you come on, I'll ask it to you on Tuesday too. But did Forrest Fenn mention in the Thrill of the Chase DeLacy Creek?
I don't think so.
I ain't got no reason to go there then.
Well, hold on though.
Well,
I mean, my solve.
I'm just saying that's just me though. I'm just a Madison man.
My solve was in Colorado only because I felt, well, Forrest doesn't talk about Colorado in the Thrill of the Chase.
You were 50 miles off.
Well, maybe I was, but then I was close. But I started my chase at the end of the long ride home. That's where I started my chase. The end
50
of the
miles
long ride.
as in Continental Divide.
Yeah, that would be. I mean the long ride home. I mean, that's a lot to think about right there. I mean, that was a pivotal moment for Forrest. I mean, he was dropped off and abandoned in the wilderness, and he's got to think, well, now I got to walk down this road all by myself, and there's probably wolves out there, bears, wherever the hell they were at.
Right.
I mean, and he's 5 minutes is going by, and he's standing there. You know he's standing there. I guarantee you, anybody that was driving home with whoever and you got dropped off, you know you're standing there when they're driving off because you expect them to come home or come back and get you. He's probably like 10, 15 minutes like, shit, I better start walking. And then he's pondering fucking, what the hell? What happened? Why did we even fight? What was the argument about? Am I ever going to see him again? And then next thing you know, here he comes driving back up to pick you up. I mean, you're just going to relish that moment for the rest of your life. You're like, I'm just going to admire it. I'm going to keep quiet.
Does he say?
Whatever.
He says they have their greatest adventure ever after. So that means after the long ride home, Forrest and his brother have a great adventure he never talks about. And he started this whole thing with two people can keep a secret. How am I not supposed to assume that the secret is kept by Skippy?
If one of them's dead.
Skippy died in 1978. Of course Skippy has the secret.
No, that's when I was born.
78, really? Oh, nice. Lucky Digger. Lucky Digger says I'm an outsider. I guess. Outsider. Am I an outsider? I don't know. I don't even know how to take that.
I mean, that's a good movie, The Outsiders. I liked it.
Stay golden, pony boy.
See? I love it. So here's the thing about I have a perspective on reading versus movies and shows. And it's not that I don't know how to read. I just hate reading. It's just it takes up too much imagination. So that's what I like about movies and stuff is not only books and reading materials is one person's perspective, but in movies and shows and series, even commercials, I mean, it's showing multiple perspectives of the world that we live in. And I don't have to sit there and fill in, what a desk looks like, what a chair looks like, what the window they're looking out like, sunrise. I don't have to guess, the colors of. I can see it. So all the work's taken out for me. So all I have to do is soak in all that perspective of how they're observing their world around them as each individual characters in the movie and shows and stuff. It's a fascinating thing. That's what I like about Survivor, and that's kind of why I equate Survivor to the Chase Marketplace. Is there's a lot of YouTube channels out there and a lot of Facebook pages out there, and you can see it out there. You can see the sharks swimming, and you can see the minnows swimming. And I was just telling my wife this. I was like, dude, this Chase community, there's somebody gets down, people are on that person, and they may not even know them or think they know them. I mean, the perception that is carried with just the few bits and pieces of what we put out there on our Facebook page with a comment or a picture, on our YouTube channels, whether they're live or posts or shorts, we're leaving snippets of our personality, what we want people to see. But sometimes it comes across totally negative. Sometimes people just do it just for the negative. And it's like, man, I can see this, how Survivor is like this. It's like everybody wants, and I don't mean everybody, because not everybody, but as a perception, you can see people kind of, they're clawing and scratching in a sense to, hey, and who doesn't want to be recognized? I want to be recognized. It took a while for me to even get recognized by myself. So it's like, now the greatest thing happened yesterday. Or actually, I'll share a short story real quick, just to bore you guys, is my son's lived with his mom, and it's a long distance relationship. I would barely get him on the weekends and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So it's an absenteeism on my part, which I'm trying to repair. So I'm always trying to text my son, how you doing? How's work? Blah, 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 blah. I don't get anything back. And I started thinking the other day, and this is like literally like 2 days ago, or 3 days ago. I was thinking, I'm like, and my wife come out to me. She started a new job, and she's like, hey, check out this biography. She starts reading it, and blah, blah. It sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful. And I noticed one thing, is she's mentioning her life. She's mentioning her pets. She's mentioning her kids. She's mentioning other things. And I got jealous because she didn't mention me. I didn't get recognized. And then I got thinking,
About Kiwi.
yo, what's up?
About Kiwi. Was Kiwi recognized?
Yeah, she gets recognized.
He probably wasn't recognized either.
But it was like, no, I think she probably was in the letter. I have to ask her now. But I'm sitting here, and it's like, you go all day or whatever, and it's like your kids aren't out calling you or texting you, your friends aren't calling or texting you. Shit, it's like, fuck. Am I truly a walking shadow? Am I a walking shadow? And that kind of hit me hard. It was like, what, But then I had reached out to my son like yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, how are you doing? Are you alive? Do I need to call you? Like, no, I'm actually up in Canada with his girlfriend, so he can't call him. Like, cool, that's awesome. Enjoy your time, etc., etc. And then my wife shared a post, and the post, and I just, because I like to make comments and screenshot and pictures of stuff because it's that important, so to speak. She shared a post, and then she tagged me in it. Oh, where is it? No, that's not it. Yeah, get a drink. Who's getting a drink? Get a drink. Get something to eat. I actually have to go on Facebook. That'd be a lot easier. But it meant a lot because, let's see, Cindy. Oh, here you go. So my twin sister put on her Facebook page, says, shout out to the men who are doing the work to become better men. The men working to be better fathers, better brothers, sons, friends. Your commitment is what the world needs more of. And I mean, just one of the things too is, I'm trying to, be a better father and a better husband and, better son. I mean, I got to go back east, help pops out. And then it was interesting because my wife tagged me in it saying tagging my honey, loved it. And I'm like, man, that makes me cry because here just a few days ago, I felt like a walking shadow. Like why? What's the point? Obviously everybody's doing good. Everybody's alive. Everybody's kicking. Everybody's smiling. But I'm not seeing that personal recognition. And that's just, me, my perception, how I see. But after I seen that connection, it was like, oh man, there is that recognition, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And so by our actions and what we say and do, what we post on Facebook and YouTube, I mean, it carries a lot of weight, even just the little bits. So that's why I'm trying to, talking Tuesdays and stuff is to help promote that mental health, positive neural feedback and reinforcement so that, I'd rather have cooler conversations than, people butting heads in channels because it's, like I said, I'd rather have more friends than enemies, And it makes for good conversation. Yes. Well, you guys want me to play some like music, put you to sleep real good, or what?
No, you're good. I gotta go deal with some family stuff now. I got kids looking at me, but Kiwi, love you guys. Bill, love you. Street, love you. All you guys love you. I hope you all realize one day that Forrest Fenn was involved with DB Cooper. Good night.
It'll be interesting. You good?
Hey, he worked
for
agency.
Look. If the truth comes out that I worked for a 3-letter agency, you can't hold it against me.
Well, I work for a 4-letter agency.
Good night.
Good night. What about you, Bill? You got anything?
What do you mean? What I got anything?
I mean,
yeah, lots.
It's really the discussion tonight was, about whether or not there was maybe 2 poems or not, but more strictly on people digging into, people's military records under, false pretenses, I would say, by trying to claim, oh man, lost the train of thought on that one. The valor. So, yeah, it just got me really heated, that he's sitting there trying to claim a criminal thing on a dead veteran who received several medals or not, whether he embellished it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I got 4 cards and a joker.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Embellish. Yeah, but a lot of people don't get what that subtle means. Like this, but not this. Not this, but like this. That's subtle. It has some subtle aspects of that to it.
Yeah.
Like looking out the window of the schoolhouse. Looking out the window, and he never talks about looking out the window of the car.
Huh.
On all them long trips, looking out the window, wondering about this and that they pass by, You're going to see a lot more riding in that car than out this window of the schoolhouse.
Well, it does make you wonder why he picked and chose the certain stories that he did and put them in a trilogy,
It was never about the parking space. It was the car that would be parked there. His father's car would be parked there. Or Eric Sloan's car. Or George O'Keeffe's car.
Or your car.
They all had Model A's.
Well, is it so much the vehicle or is it so much the spot?
Great Gatsby is as much about the man as it is about the car.
That is true. I would say so. But it is also just as much about the area too.
Do you
as
do
it
you
is
have a
about the
treasure
man.
chest or do you have a Lamborghini?
Neither.
Okay. Well, okay. He wouldn't sell Ralph Lauren a Indian War bonnet, right? If we ask Mario and Paul Paul, what is the front of the car called? The bonnet.
I would have gone with bumper, but
It's the bonnet, and the trunk is the boot. He lost a boot. The back of the car got torn off like the back of the airplane because he hooked onto that anchor chain. Well, the rest of this car is 3/4 of a mile away. So and it's
okay. I think I'm starting to piece this together. So you're saying that the story and the thrill of the chase, where he's rounding up that bull that got
the
loose,
buffalo.
the buffalo from outside. Is that what you're talking about? That car?
The string and the rope is tied to the car. It's tied to the teachers with ropes. You got a bunch of kids in a rope tied to the car.
So that part of the car that you carried around, or have carried around, is that part of the car that Forrest?
I didn't. I brought it there. I sat it down. It rolled over on its face. I sat it back up.
But where did it come from? Where did that come from?
Street's trying to embarrass me and shit. It's all bullshit what he's telling you. Ask Cynthia. Ask Cynthia about it. She'll tell you. Well, she won't even tell you what happened. But she was part of the hat doffing and the mildew. She was part. She was in on that.
I don't care about no mildew hat that's got some barbed wire around it that's been on a dead man's because it's got a hole. I don't. Is that piece of the car that you had part of the car that got stuck over in Yellowstone that they were driving, or is it just a total different piece?
It just has to be a Model A. It has to be subtly related. It makes him think of that car.
Okay, so you're using it as a symbolism.
Father's car. It makes him think of Eric Sloane's car or Robert Redford's car in The Great Gatsby or you know them old Model A, Model T type cars, you know.
Yeah, I follow it. It's a symbolism thing. It's a reminder.
He said that.
Yeah.
He traded the Chevy for a Plymouth, you know. Oh, no, that car was part of the family. Huh. He put part of himself in the chest. You can get a polo shirt, Ralph Lauren, that he wouldn't sell the war bonnet to. Has $350 million in cars. Well, you can't take them with you, Ralph. Can I have one? You know. And Forrest wouldn't wear ties because you got to tie it to the car.
Huh.
That's why I'm right. I use Kevin Bacon's 6 degrees of separation to get where I got. And that's why my book's going to be 1 degree of synchronicity. Kevin Bacon sucks.
There you go. Yeah. 1 degree of synchronicity.
6 degrees. 1 degree of synchronicity. Yeah, because it's all because I use the 6 degrees to see how related what I had is to the poem, or what, because it's only subtle. It's not subtle. Is not direct. If he said Yellowstone is not subtle. That's bold and in your face. But what's
I'll
bold?
give you that.
Treasures are the only thing bold, and that's because it's on the map. Treasure Falls, Treasure Mountain, Treasure Colorado. And it's right below the home of David Jennings Brown. And a river runs through his 3,500 acres. He died in 2013.
Ooh, I'd like to metal touch that property.
He had $1.5 million worth of bronze lived near Pagosa Springs. Where, if you live in Pagosa Springs, where you can buy your bronze?
Let's definitely go metal detect that property then.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh yeah, you can't get near it. It's secured. It's all fenced all the way around. But there is
where there's a will, there's a way.
There's a real estate video when the property was up for sale in 2013. It's Bootjack Ranch, and it's an Olympic indoor geothermal swimming pool.
Oh wow!
Because it's geothermal
nice.
there. They got geothermal, so they just drilled down in that big old swimming pool indoors. Olympics. That's 50 yards by 25 yards, or 50 meters by 25 yards.
That's a pretty hefty area.
So you can swim yards.
I see red and blues.
Huh?
I thought I saw red and blues flashing on you.
Lucky digger. Lucky digger. The chest was only the lure. They were looking for look for a new dog. They were looking for the person that could figure it out.
There's multiple ways of figuring things out.
The person who could decode the Matrix.
Yeah. Who doesn't love the Matrix? It's learning how to manipulate the Matrix.
It's decoding. That's what the synchronicity is. And then I go to Walmart.
Is it decoding or just going along with the code so that what you're wanting is being fulfilled in a sense, because you know how the code flows?
I went to Walmart. This guy was telling me synchronicity is the answer to everything.
That's an interesting statement. Synchronicity is the answer to everything. The only way I can see you having synchronicity to everything is when I would have, for me, I would say your internal energy that is you is with the rest of the energy that we perceive in this.
You see other dimensions.
You know what I mean?
You see dimensions that other people don't see. You're able. It's the game concentration where you match this box and that box. You're able to just it's all synchronicity.
Picture of it, yeah.
Yeah. So my book was Kevin Bacon Sucks: 1 Degree of Synchronicity in the Hunt for Forrest Fenn's Treasure.
Can I make a suggestion? Take the Kevin Bacon Sucks part out. You might sell more copies.
No, because nobody's going to buy Bill Gorman's book, but if it says Kevin Bacon on it, they're going to buy it.
That's a good point. That is I might just see. You learn something new every day. That's
and I explained that it's just a play on work, because of his 6 degrees of 6 degrees of
how about this? Instead of saying Kevin Bacon sucks, just put Kevin Bacon's not in this book.
Well, because he needs 6 degrees. He needs 6 degrees of separation. I only need 1 degree of synchronicity. So I can do it 1 degree what he needs 6 degrees for.
Well, I'm just trying to help you change it from a negative sounding thing to a more positive sounding. You can still keep it in there.
No, but you're looking at it negative. You're not looking at it as, oh, that's funny. Some people laugh at it. They laugh about it.
I'm laughing. Trust me, I'm laughing.
And there's very few people in the chase that even have a sense of humor.
It's a shame in a sense that comedy in a sense is trying to be snuffed and killed. It's kind of, if you can't have humor, then everything else, I mean, I don't know. Humor is such a powerful thing. I mean, just the action alone of your body laughing and vibrating, and it's just, it's just a crazy powerful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts releasing those endorphins and stuff or something like that.
What? I don't know if I ate something in grease or what, but whatever was doing my gut. Now I got to go see the photographer at the GI clinic.
That sounds like a lovely trip.
Yeah.
So
because something's going on in my gut.
So I mean, how was your overall visit. I mean, I seen that you were doing like one of the night rave things. I mean, did you just happen to chance upon that
It was
party, or
great. One of the last Saturday I was there, I'm walking back to my hotel, and this woman jumps out of the passenger seat of this car. This is a full car of people. She jumps out and she grabs me and she kisses me on both cheeks. Oh, hi, come over here, come over here. I gave her my card, and I think that she thought I was somebody else or something, like maybe
Hey,
Plato
that's okay.
or Socrates. Yeah, because I grew the beard just to go there, just so I could look like Plato
Well,
or Socrates or something.
they would definitely think that if you were walking around with a white toga on and stuff.
No, I didn't do the toga.
Yeah, you should have.
But
That would have been
this
even
thing is
better.
really cool. That's,
Yeah, I seen
that's
that.
Alexander on that side, and
Alexander
then
the Great.
there's Athena on the back. And what I had to laugh when Troy says, well, "What the fuck does Greek gods have to do with the chase?" Double Omegas,
Well, it's knowledge.
double Omegas, double blazes. It all started there. The alphabet, the double alphas. There's alpha. I got
So I never really
Alexander
understood
and Athena on here, two alphas.
the connection
Huh?
with the well, if it's double omega, the end of the end, because alpha's the beginning of the end, right? So
I asked the
the end of the
oracle.
end.
I asked the oracle when it'd be over. And at night I had the dream and Zoe and Kelly and Zoe's husband and some Asian or Filipino guy was there, you know, and they said be over in January. And then a couple days later, K-Pro says December 31st. It's like, it's January. You know?
So is that
But
Alexander the Great on the front of that?
Yeah. Because he was Greek.
That's cool.
He was the Oracle Delphi that I went to. You know, give me.
You know, I'm
ask
gonna have to
it
go
gives
watch
you an
that
answer.
movie. I'm gonna watch that movie tonight. Matter of fact, I don't care how late it is. When as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna watch that movie, Alexander the Great, because it's a good movie.
My shirt is still greasy. Oh yeah, and who played Alexander the Great?
Colin Farrell. Is it Colin Farrell?
No. You're thinking of one of them comedy movies. No. I'm talking about the old time. It was Kirk Douglas.
No, that's like an old. I'm not that old. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking. That's what.
Alexander the Great. If you look it up, there's like one that was made in like mid 2000s ish, 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. I don't know, but I think it's got Colin Farrell in it. Yeah. They're comedian. It's a comedian one. No, it's not. It's not a comedian one, man. He's sitting there going around hacking and slashing and trying to kill the Persian guy or Babylonian whatever's. I'm telling you, it's not a comedian movie. I mean, I think I know which one you're kind of referring to, but no, it's not that one. Yeah, I love movies. Movies is one of my gig.
Yeah, and people don't get the thing when he was at Michael Douglas's house. Kirk Douglas was there, and Kirk Douglas was a rabbi. He was going to be a rabbi. He has this Jewish name, you know, and his real name isn't Kirk Douglas. You know, he was going to be a rabbi, and then he got into acting, and that took off.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a Moses hint there, but the Charlton Heston. I want all within the sound of my voice to listen and to heed what I have to say, especially you, Mr. Gore, from my cold, dead hands. I want all. That's listen all and hear me good, or hear me good and listen all, whatever it is. That is the Charlton Heston speech. But when Charlton Heston says it, he mentions Mr. Gore. I'm Gore Man. And
you sure
and
he wasn't
me-
talking about Al Gore?
he was talking about Al Gore, but me and Al Gore have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm Gore Man, and I have the same birthday as Al Gore. What are the chances of those synchronicities happening?
It's crazy. I mean, it's a chance right now because you're pointing that chance out. So I mean,
it's
a
destiny.
possible chance.
It's destiny. All the numbers are lining up. That's what synchronicity. All the numbers are lining up. I do my numerology, and I get 33, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and my birthday is 3. My birthday is 3. And so
you like threes.
So there's 333. So you got 369 in there if you know, and then the final number, if you add my birthday with my name, the final number is 3.
I'm an 1111 man. I see a lot of 1111 on clocks and stuff like all the time. I just happen to look. It's 1111.
Yeah.
You know,
Michael. My middle name's Michael, and that's 33.
huh?
And
How do
that,
you get 33 out of a name?
You do the numbers 1 through 9,
Okay,
and then A through I, J through So there's only after you get 9, you start over the 1 back to 9, and so there's only two letters that are represented by 9. So that's I did a thing on a spreadsheet where I added all my shit up, and it's like,
oh, that's cool.
That's a lot of 3s. There's just 3s all over.
Yeah.
And you know what 3 is? The Trinity.
3.
That's
Triangle.
That's the Trinity. One is God, and 3 is the Trinity. And my birthday's 31st, so that's why 13
Father,
is
the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Interchangeable. 13 and 31 are interchangeable. Not 31 same as 30. It's a 1 and a 3. Adds up to 4.
Yeah, 3 plus 1 is 4. Yeah, I agree with that one.
No.
Well, I'm glad you made it back safe. That's for sure. And it looked like it was an amazing.
I'm glad I'm glad my stomach relaxed for the flight home.
I mean, so what kind of foods were you eating over there?
Had some pizza. I had this souvlaki.
You don't know what you were eating?
I had Greek food, Greek salad. I had some sea bass.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, we used to go catch bass in San Francisco Bay. It had to be 16 inches to keep it. And and we mostly caught them. They were 32 inches and stuff, almost 3 feet.
Nice.
Big bass, and a little kid holding them like this, these 2 big old fish that are as long as each of them long as my legs, each leg, and so I was saying sea bass. Oh, it's going to be a nice big chunk fillet and it was like I'd get trout bigger than that.
Wow. So how big were they then?
Oh, it was probably a 14-inch fish.
Well, that ain't too bad.
And
Welcome back, Indy.
I made it up to the stadium at Delphi. I read people don't make it to the stadium. I ran up there to get to the stadium.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Candy's muted. We don't hear her. She muted herself. She's got her.
Hi.
Hello.
We're playing bear pong.
Who's winning?
We noticed.
Or who's getting
right now, Vic is kicking my ass because apparently I forgot how to shoot. Like the other night, I kicked his ass, but I need to learn how to arch my arm. I forget to do that sometimes when I'm not drunk enough. I need to arch my arm and then it goes in. So I'm getting drunk right now.
My wife, she got this one. It's got like blocks or something. So we ended up keeping it, and we're gonna use that for something like that. Though I'm gonna have root beer in mine, and she'll have beer in hers.
We gotta have river pong at the river.
Yes.
River pong,
Yes.
the floating river pong.
Well, sadly I won't be able to make it this year. I wanted to. I gotta go back. I gotta go back east. I won't be able to make it this year out there to the Madison. At least not before September.
Well, I know we're
Okay.
planning on doing it end of August, early September.
Oh,
So,
if
like-
it's changing then. In between that time frame, I totally will try to make it for sure.
Yeah.
If it's between that time frame, on.
Camping under the stars, river,
West, east.
alcohol, fun, trivia, all that.
Hell yeah. I'll have to find out. 'Cause-
Kiwi, you know what happens when they have somebody play Moses part in the Madison River, don't you?
They call you up.
The park floods.
Okay.
Park flooding. I did it.
Don't be afraid. Wait, and you
I mean, you talk about.
Are you okay?
I take credit for it.
Oh God, you made it really strong. Oh no. Oh my God, you did. Where'd
Serendipitous.
the bottle go? Are you shitting me?
I don't know, because I know that whoever goes to visit that spot, it's changed. I mean, that flood. I mean, I don't. Has it ever really flooded like that, where it overgrown the banks of the Madison? When was the last time that happened? You know what I mean?
Kill her?
I doubt it's happened since the
All
chest
right,
has
come here and
been.
have some. Come here, Mark.
So,
Come on.
and I
But
I need you
probably
to be my
doubt
taste tester. Come here.
You-
Please.
Sir?
Pretty please? No, with everything.
that the chest was flooded when he put it out there at all. So, you know,
Oh, what's
that
this?
would have made a
One
big
thing-
difference.
Hold on, you see. Can you give me
one thing I
food?
noticed, the thing I noticed in Greece was the similarities between the Greek gods and the other religions and stuff. Like Moses was a water god, and the tour guide was telling us that Moses represented music. Well, so did Apollo, and Apollo was a dolphin. He was a water god,
Come on.
kind of, you know, and he water.
That's really your song? I don't.
He did a lot of the things Moses did.
I
Apollo.
saw
was
your
the sun
face.
god.
I saw your face,
No,
Mark.
Apollo was a dolphin.
So,
Apollo
there's no
was a
Apollo the
dolphin
sun
candy.
Give me
god?
a second. You guys want to go watch
Apollo
us
was a
play
dolphin,
more?
right?
I'm gonna go on mute, and then you guys can see us do more beer pong while you talk about Apollo, who was god
Well,
of the sun, by the way.
That's what I
yeah,
thought. But I only remember
but-
that from the movie.
But he was a
Apollo
dolphin.
13?
He came from the sea.
It must be
See,
a
the
different.
sun rises. The sun in Greece, the sun rises
Oh,
off.
okay. I get you. I get you now. That would make sense. I can see the reference. The gun,
Yeah.
the sun's rising out of the sea,
and-
so yeah.
At the Academy of Athens, they have two statues. They have a pillar on either side of the Academy, and on the pillar on the left is Athena. The pillar on the right is Apollo, and he has his harp, and he had a musical duel with Pan.
Oh, really?
You know, Pan, the half goat and half man thing.
Yeah.
And King Midas, who was freed from his turning everything to gold affliction, was the judge of the musical contest, and he gave it to Pan and his flute, right? And that pissed off Apollo, so Apollo gave King Midas donkey ears that he was ashamed, and he tried to cover him up and hide stuff because he was ashamed of
Now,
his donkey
wasn't King
ears.
Midas the one that had the golden hand or whatever, the golden touch?
Right, but that was prior to this.
Okay.
So the musical duel between Apollo and Pan is Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you go from Greece to a song called "Devil Goes Down to Georgia"?
It was a musical duel.
Yeah, but is there a
One on the
Georgia over
harp
there?
and the other one on the flute, and Devil went down to Georgia. They're just both violins. You know, it's a duel between two musicians.
Okay. So you're saying that those two towers are two dueling musicians?
And so the originated with pan synchronicities. Man, you just went from way back up right up to close fast. They're synchronicities. You get it?
I kinda, but I mean, okay. So, what would the synchronicities be for, though?
That all these things are interrelated. Like the Parthenon is the temple of the Virgin, right?
Okay.
And what do the Christians have? The Virgin Mary. They're
Okay.
worshiping the Virgin just like the Greeks were.
So you're
does
tying
that
a
make
lot of
Christians pagan
connections
also? They call the
I don't know,
Greeks
that's a good
pagan.
question.
Well, the Christians adopted the Virgin. You know?
Huh? Those are interesting connections.
And I think some of these Greek gods that swallowed their children and all and threw up rocks were the mountains themselves. The shapes in the mountains, there were gods that people seen what I seen the shapes in the rocks, and this mountain threw up the rock and landed on the village, you know, and so that's their oracle.
Huh.
and then there's other figures in the belly of the figure on the mountain because it's all multi-layered. You can go right into microscopic out to. And you've seen the picture, some of the mountains that it looks like somebody laying there, and it's a mountain.
Isn't the like the oracle over like a vent of some sort?
It's not
vent or something maybe.
Anymore. The oracles are two women. They're two psychic women or something. But the rock, the rock that represents the oracle.
Weren't they under the influence of some type of aromatic atmosphere in the air?
It was volcanic vent was putting out some type of gas that
that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
It was putting out LSD gas, I guess. You know.
Actually, by the way it's sounding, yeah. I mean, it was putting them into some type of trance, I guess, to sit there and speak the way they were speaking ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like a hot topic.
Yeah. Yeah. When I seen all the coincidences of this stuff and the stories of the Greek stories, it's like, and Medusa was cursed because she was raped by Poseidon in the temple of the Virgin. She desecrated the temple of the Virgin by being raped there, and Poseidon did also, I guess. You know, that's why he was.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I ain't really looked into much of the Greek history outside of just what I see from TV and stuff.
They have a Zoe's Lateri is whatever. It's a lot. It's a ice cream parlor. Zoe has an ice cream parlor there in Athens. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Did you take a picture of it?
Yeah, I took a picture of it. I think I posted it in the community board. Yeah, Zoe's ice cream. And Greece is a place where Ben was talking about laundering money earlier. Okay, Greece is a place where you can business. If you have a business there, it's a tax haven.
Huh.
for businesses.
Well,
So
I mean,
business.
if you're feeding money to your dog and your dog's pooping it out and you're throwing it into the washing machine or a dishwasher, then I mean you're laundering money. I mean, especially if you're using your launder machine, you know.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
okay. And that's what happened with the gold at Heritage Auctions. They laundered the gold. It is now in the form of currency or digital. It's on a bank register somewhere.
yeah.
It's just a digital number.
Well, so it was interesting because everybody's about provenance, right? Everybody's all into the fact checking. We need to see the sources and documents and this and that. But there was somebody posted a video that had Forrest talking about the contents of the chest. And he's like, man, that come from Tom, Dick, and Harry and Joe Blow down the street and Mary Jane over there. I mean, the answer he gave is there's no provenance for any of this stuff, per se. I mean, it was an interesting to hear him how he was saying that. It was like, yeah, that makes sense, because one of the biggest things in anything is I don't remember, I don't recall, and that will usually get you off of the ball.
I think I saw one of the YouTubers bitching about marathons.
What about marathons?
It's a marathon. I got the at the Olympic. They have the 1896 Olympics stadium there, and there's a tunnel up at the one end that goes up to a little museum that they have the torches for each of the Olympics for each country that the Olympics were in. And they got one there from Moscow even, and
Oh, that's cool. That's way cool.
Pretty cool.
Well, with
then the Forrest in the wood, he was a lumberjack cutting wood. Across from the Olympic Stadium is a statue of the woodcutter. It's a boy cutting wood, right?
Huh.
And then you go further in this park, in the National Gardens Park, across on the other side, there's a mansion in the middle, this round mansion. I went in the middle and did a circular panorama picture in there. And there's a fountain in there and stuff. But on the other side of that, there's a little pond with turtles in it. And there's the boy fisher. That's the fisherman boy, it's called. And he's there with a fish, with digging his fingers in the gills of the fish or whatever. You holding this fish that he had caught. It's the boy fisherman. And it's like, that's Forrest Fenn right there. and there were turtles in the pond. And the one turtle was going on the other turtle's face doing this.
I've seen that video of that on YouTube.
I was going, what the?
And it's amazing how animals treat each other. And I mean, they and here's the thing: is they do things that we don't even know, and that just happens to be one of them. Somebody happened to catch the turtle playing with the other turtle. I mean, it's amazing. It's way amazing. So, what did you find out about the sun god Apollo? Is he connected to the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, or no? Indy. Nope. Yep. Nope. Nope. We're back to looking at that. Okay. Back to you, Bill. Oh, Bill's frozen. Uh-oh. We lost Bill. Well then. Well, this will kind of make it easy. I got a froze up person and I got a person playing beer pong, which is they're having fun. So, Indy, if you have anything, would you like to anything you like to discuss or anything? Because it's like 11:10. My eyes are getting droopy, and I'm about to go hit inside and watch that Alexander the Great with Colin Farrell. Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah. No? All right. So with that, as she's on mute and lingering about, having fun. Indy, thanks for coming on. Bill, thanks for coming on. Mr. Napple, thanks for coming on. Everybody, thank you for coming and joining me on Kiwis Road on the train of madness. Sorry that the boiler room got a little heated, but that'll happen when you hear people sitting there trying to, as you say, I look at it as discredit or devious. What happened? What happened? Yeah, we see people's chilling there, relaxing, playing some pool, beer pong, and whatnot. It's all good. We shutting it down anyway. We shutting it down. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting how somebody would sit there and try to threaten, in a sense. Yeah, no, I'd say threaten to discredit somebody's honor, especially a veteran who's passed away. And I'm calling that shit out. I just don't think it's cool whatsoever, especially at this point. I mean, and all intents and purposes, what good is it going to do? What's it going to serve? Trying to discredit somebody else's point of view. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you back in, but I'm just letting you know that I'll let Bill come back in for a minute. But you guys are welcome. I appreciate you, everybody, stopping by and listening, and just listening to me rant and rave. I just, yeah, it was just something that it got my goat, and I just need to stoke the train fire with some hot coals. And this seemed like the pretty good time to have done it. And Mr. David Pisano today hit a little bit on it. And so I was just following it up because I just felt the need to speak sort of speakeasy, though we don't do
Power
speakeasy.
shortage.
That's right.
There's
That'll
a power.
happen.
My power went out. I just ordered a 1,000 amp or 1,000 watt hour or kilowatt 1 kW UPS, so that I know that when this one goes dead, it'll still stay on, and I can go start the generator.
There you go. No, I was just shutting it down anyway. I mean, you had froze up.
Oh, okay.
He was doing something. It was like, it's a good time to go watch Alexander the Great. And I was just thanking people for stopping by, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Watch one with Kirk Douglas.
Nah, I'm not going old school. I don't want to bore myself to death. I want to enjoy the movie I like watching. I mean, that sounds like it's an old movie. Uh-oh. It seems like Bill froze up again. The Jenny must have
Alexander. It's called. It's frozen here.
Just Alexander?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that was just Alexander. The one I'm talking about, Alexander the Great. Two different movies.
Yeah.
I like mine better. Yours sounds. The one you're talking about sounds like it's like made in like the 1980s or something like that.
No, it's made in the 50s.
1950s?
Or 60s.
Oh, good God. Yeah, you really try to put me to sleep, aren't you? And I'll put that thing on.
No, that's one of the good ones are. So you gotta watch who's that guy? The guy out in the desert. What was that movie?
Which one? Kurt Russell? Or
no, it was the guy riding a motorcycle. He was out in the desert. It's like a 4-hour movie.
Oh, you got me now.
Down in it's in Egypt and Lawrence of Arabia.
I didn't know that was like a 4-hour long movie.
Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 hours.
What was the year?
64 or 60,
Oh my God!
66
Come
maybe,
on. You're
67.
trying to bore me to death
Uh,
at a young age, aren't you? I mean,
we
not
we
to
went to the
discredit.
theater, went and seen it in the movie theater when it came out. I
Well, I
seen
mean,
Mary Poppins when it came out
at a drive-in or in the theater?
in the movie theater.
Yeah,
Whenever that movie came out, I went and seen it.
you got to give it
When
credit, though. I
Disney,
mean, they did the best they could with what they had. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. My mother, apparently my sister says my mother was afraid of driving and stuff, and she went to see
Really?
she went to get help, to get over her fear of driving, and they told her to take a trip, take a trip with the kids and go down to Disneyland or something. We went down to Disneyland like 1965 or something,
Okay.
and then late in 72 we took a trip all the way across. Mother took us all on a trip across country all summer long. Went all the way across and up eastern Canada and Quebec and changing to the guards, went up to Statue of Liberty and everything, and New York City before there was a trade center, and went there after there was too.
Huh.
I had a picture standing right in between the Twin Towers, camera looking straight up, and so I'm the third tower,
There you go.
I'm the only one still standing.
Yeah.
But
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
We went to Washington, D.C. I was like 14. I was 14 when we went on that trip. And we were in Washington, D.C. And I thought, we knew where to meet back up and stuff. And I got on this bus. I thought I was going to the Washington Monument or something. And the bus took me over to the National Cemetery. And I saw the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and all that. And my family, where the hell's I'm off on my own roaming around at 14 around DC,
Well, hopefully you're glad to see that things worked out.
I knew where the car was parked. That's all I need to know, where the car was parked.
Exactly, the number one thing.
I was surprised that I was off running around alone in that big city.
Times were different then too, so it's crazy how time changes things. All right, Bill, I appreciate you coming by. I'm gonna hop off here and go visit the missus if she's still awake and try to get her to watch a movie.
Yeah, we can talk about bird stuffing next time.
We'll talk what?
Bird stuffing.
Oh, there you go.
Togo, he's stuffed. Yeah, he's stuffed. Kiwi's not stuffed yet.
No, we'll have to check it next time. That's for
Kiwi
sure.
should outlive you, though.
I hope so. Just for the fact that that I hope so.
They told me it's all about diet. Give bean sprouts.
She loves her green snap peas, snow peas, sweet snow peas or something. Snap peas.
Yeah,
she likes the green beans.
They don't need so much of the oil because they don't get a lot of exercise and it clogs their arteries. It gives them, it clogs their heart.
She's getting some
because
exercise.
They don't fly enough.
So that was one of the things is throughout the winter and up until just now today is we let her wings grow in, and I've been working with her and trying to train her how to learn how to fly, so to speak. And I mean, she got it down pretty good. She was going from room to room looking for us and trying to hang out with us. So today, we had to snip her wings so that she's safe. And she tried flying, landed on the floor, walking in the bathroom. Come on. So,
I was at a tiki bar in Florida on the Banana River, and Togo was sitting on my knee, and a woman walked by with a Pomeranian. His wings, I just clipped his wings. And he flew off out over the Banana River, and he was out there about 300 yards out, you know, and I kept calling him, to come back, and he turned around, but he could barely stay off of the water, because his wings were clipped, and he come in and landed and slid across the floor of the bar, landed up under the bar stools, and he's,
wow.
And at that point I said, I don't clip his wings, because if he gets away, I don't want him landing in the water and getting eaten by a shark or killed by predators. I want him to have his wings, because that's the only way for him to save his own life. If they're clipped, they can't save their own life. Yeah. That's like making them bait.
and so that's like part of our training thing is you hear a lot of stories of, we let our bird out and all of a sudden our bird just took off and never come home. And I think it's because they're caged. They're not taught how to use their wings. They're just caged up most of the time, or hanging out on their perch all day long. They're not exercised to use their wings.
3 other times, and the last time he took off, he was gone, and he was gone a couple hours and stuff. And I went up on the roof of the house. I waited for the traffic to get quiet, and I whistled for him and listened for his reply. And when I heard his reply, then I went over closer to that, and I whistled again and listened, and figured. And then I walked around the block, and there he was sitting on somebody's gate. I walked up and got him, but so you have to know how to track it. Oh, he's gone. You gotta know how to call him back. You gotta know how to bird whisper.
Well, that's why I'm teacher the quail call for where are you, and then that way it's a whistle, because like you said, your eyesight and your sight, your line of sight is your first line of instinct, to move. After that, the next thing to locate something is by sound. If you can't see it, hopefully you can hear it, And it played a role.
Yeah.
That short video I just posted the other day of Kiwi flying, that she took off of here and started flying. I'm like, and that was the whole point of trying to train with her and teach her that these are your wings, these are what they're used for, this is how you can get around, and also how you can come down to me in case you get stuck up on a tree. And it paid off. But we had to clip her because she's gonna be hanging out with Mom mostly for a while. So
I just wanted a big backyard aviary, like a jungle with an aviary.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. All right, my friend, I'm gonna hop off here. You enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you on the flip side. Everybody else, whoever's left in Zoom or YouTube, rather, thanks for stopping by. And you all enjoy the rest of your evening as well. And we'll catch you all on Talking Tuesdays. And with that,
adios.
Y'all keep calm and treasure on. And we'll see you on the